and came into the 24/7 Discord. And then this server was linked there.
So you're a flat earther now, yeah?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, that's good.
We don't really teach our kids or anything. We just kind of talk private.
What would bring you back to the globe?
Mostly. One second, I gotta shut this off. 1 second. Alright. Sorry, I was distracted me. Mostly. That's a good question, because I've kind of came to the conclusion you can't really trust most of the pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess, like, if we did more laser tests and it came out and showed a curvature or something.
Okay. I don't think they've done a laser test, the Globers. They think the light bends or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but if it did, then boats wouldn't go over the curve or anything, right?
Right. What's the best globe evidence you've heard? Or not the best, but what have you heard like on their side?
The map.
On the globe side?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's not technically a globe, but a globe model. Like,
Okay.
the southern star trails are kind of confusing, but I can't really figure it out. But it does make sense on the globe model. But it doesn't mean it's the Earth's a globe, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they'd have to show more observations of those stars. I mean, just like a little time lapse just to support the model is not really evident. Yeah? I mean, we don't know what the sky is. We don't know if it's a reflection. We'd need to go high enough to figure it out, I think.
Hey,
So,
Kimo.
Curious question is, what
I
is
do that. I make those measurements for a living, by the way. But
model
sorry, go on.
concept?
Sorry, two of you at the same time. Sorry.
Go ahead, sir.
A curious question is, what do you actually consider to be the best evidence or defining evidence to support the flat concept?
Well,
Well, like I said,
go ahead, Bella.
oh,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, like the laser test and the long distance observations not lining up with the globe math, like the projected drop.
I apologize, I didn't ask the question clearly. I don't really care about disproving the globe. The question is, what is the best evidence for the flat concept?
Oh, well, that is if there's no curvature, that means it's flat, right? Over the lake Malton, or like if there's no curvature found in the laser's level with the ground the whole way. Doesn't that mean it's level?
Yeah. How about what's your rebuttal to Bella?
Disproving the globe doesn't automatically mean the flat, because you still haven't covered the banana Earth, the triangle Earth, the ring Earth, the donut Earth, or any of those other models.
Well, I guess let me clarify. I don't claim to know what the whole shape is, but everywhere we measure is level. So that's what I say.
No, it's completely in keeping with how the globe stage should be.
Sorry, Chronic was trying to say something at the same time, I think. He says he measures them or something like this.
Well, once again, I think probably this is the third or fourth conversation. I can provide you as however many measurements, observations you'd like, Kimo.
No, this is for Bella.
For
I asked
days.
Bella
Bella.
What would bring Bella back to the globe? And she likes measurements because she uses lasers, yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not
Same.
personally, but I know somebody who's in the FE core experiment.
Go ahead, Chronic.
Okay. Yep. Same here. So if you ever have any questions or are interested in actual data, with telescopes that use lasers to correct for atmospheric distortions, feel free to DM me. I'll send you. I could go on for hours about it. So
Just post it here in the main chat. What do you mean DM?
well, okay. I mean, what
Let us see what you've got. We want proof of the globe. So
When
No,
will
no,
we be
no.
able to
I'm not.
use-
No, no, no.
Chronic,
I'm specifically referring to the work and measurements that I take of stars and their positions and their motions and and phenomenon
You measure the
that I can provide.
things over water or long distance horizontally?
Me personally, no.
Chronic.
Well-
What's the deal? Do we need like a medium power telescope to be able to make out these crafts on the moon? Like why can we not zoom in and see the craft on the moon if we have such powerful telescope?
We don't have a large enough telescope.
Oh, none of them are that powerful. I got you.
You need a telescope you'd need a mirror the diameter of like 2 football fields.
Okay.
All
All
right, let's not
to
derail
get
too
the,
much.
to get the
Don.
angular.
Let's
to
not
get
do
the
it.
angular
Don,
resolution.
don't take this away from my banner because you guys want to bring back a flat earther to the globe, right?
No, he
So-
was trying to say something. That was
So Don, let me.
Even with the
Don,
FBI type of software, the FBI software, Chronic. That,
No,
like,
yeah, Don, I know it. Yeah, for sure. Chemo, I don't care about bringing anyone back, by the way. So.
Well, no,
but-
because we're looking for.
I mean,
globe.
you're trying to. Yeah. But let me at least get to Don real quick before you derail it.
All right, go on.
Yeah,
Sure, I'll
Don.
wait.
Even Don. Yes. I mean, sure. There's some technology and stuff that's that the military develops first, that then is used in science afterward. Adaptive optics is a perfect example. But anyways,
Okay.
No. It's a very basic equation. The angular resolution formula is just 1.22 lambda over d. Lambda is the wavelength you're observing, and d is the diameter of your optic. So the diameter of like a mirror, like a telescope. So that d, in order to have the angular resolution to see a 6 foot tall by 1 foot flag on the moon, your diameter of your mirror would need to be like 280 yards or something crazy.
Okay.
So yeah.
And why don't we have such a scope?
Yeah, that was
You-
where we're going.
It's with our current engineering our current abilities to machine something, to machine a mirror with with that
Right.
precision, we just aren't there as a
And so even things that are in low Earth orbit, because it's 200 something plus thousand miles to the moon.
yes,
Even if we go up 60 miles closer, that's less than 1% there. So it would only help by 1%.
it's nothing. Exactly, Don.
Less than
You're getting it, man. Exactly. Yep.
Well, I hope I got a little bit. I'm just like, but I want to see some of this. Japan's on the moon, or China's on the moon now, and we got these powerful things are seen so far
Yeah.
away. But I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. It's a portion of the sky, the angular portion.
Yes.
basically.
Yeah. And so with things like the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, LRO, that's orbiting the moon, that's way, way, way closer. So that things that are basically at the moon, can take images of things on the surface of the moon, with much higher resolution than, a telescope, hundreds
Okay.
of thousands of kilometers
I know
away.
I derailed, but I guess
That's a
here's the
big,
thing.
big derail, Don. Big.
I'm
derail.
sorry. I'll save the other one for later, Chronic. Holler at me later. I'll save the other.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right, well, real quick, I'd just like to say I think this is horse shit. We have the technology to create football fields 10 times the size of a normal football field. So I don't see the problem.
Curved. Just look into the machining of mirrors.
It's just
and-
glass. Put them together. Make a kaleidoscope.
You're not brainwashing me.
All right. It's just glassed on. Just think. I'll leave you with one more thing. Think about the sag on something like that. Think about the gravity. You know how much sagging there would be if you try to machine a mirror. That
Well, there can be braces support. I mean, we can have black spots where the braces are supporting it. Don't get me. I mean, but still, we should go for it. It doesn't have to be carried all at once. We can mold it right there, adding on little pieces. I don't know. I'm for it. Project Football Mirror. Let's go.
Can't we just pour glass out on the salt flats?
I'm not saying we shouldn't go for it, Don. We definitely there's 30-meter telescopes we're pushing the cutting edge by engineering 30-meter telescopes, which are still quite a long ways away from 2 football fields, but
Wait.
I mean we're on the way.
You mean to say
they'll make a convex lens, man.
True, Moya. Convex, yeah, just let gravity do the shaping of it, yeah.
Is there no way
That'll be within a millimeter of the needed tolerance to to not have any spherical aberration or any issues. It's just magically.
It doesn't have to be perfect, so it's a wonky image of the lens.
Come on, wasn't the Hubble not perfect?
Correct, but we sent humans up there to fix the kinks.
Come on, there's got to be a way that we can set off a nuke in the middle of the desert, and it will make the required parabolic shape we need.
Okay, this is not derailing. This is gatekeeping. We have someone here who is interested in globe proof, globe evidence, because obviously you guys believe in something that we believe or know that you cannot demonstrate.
All right.
So we're asking
Bella.
Bella.
You can shut up now.
Yeah, we're asking Bella. What would she like? What is necessary to bring her back to the globe? She says a measurement of some kind. So, what kind of measurements do you have that will convince her?
So she asked if so. Yeah. So correct me, Bella. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bella. But you. So I discussed a little bit of sort of like the measurements I take and the instruments I use and stuff, and you asked me if there's any scenario where I would need to use those instruments, to use those telescopes, to make some long distance horizontal, parallel to the surface observation, and my answer was no. I don't. So I can't provide you a telescope data that I've done my own self, because that would never get funded. No one would ever, no institution would ever pay me to do that.
I think that's what's holding back a lot of people. You know what I mean? Just what you said. No institution's gonna do it.
You might spell a little bit
maybe.
better. Well, I don't know. You can hear you, but it's.
I think I can. I heard her. Sure, maybe, but yeah, but I mean, these like instruments and observatories are extremely there's proposals and stuff that are very competitive for a ton of people want to use them, and they don't have they only have so much time to give to scientists to use these. So
I got you.
Yeah. So if there's if you're on some committee that's reviewing a lot of proposals, let's just say like 100 proposals for all these scientists who want to use this telescope to study like galaxies and stars and supernova explosions and all types of different stuff, and then you have 1 or 2 of the proposals are flat Earth scientists who want to point it towards Chicago to see if we zoom in enough we could see Chicago. I think unfortunately those proposals are getting sort of thrown off the table immediately.
But you still haven't given her any globe
merit
proof. I mean, you've said what can we? How can we prove it's a globe? What's the best evidence that we have?
All I'm discussing with her is data and observations that I take of the sky. So you can wrangle it whatever way you want, Chemo. But that's the only reason I chimed in.
But you chimed in after I said about long distance laser tests or long distance observations.
It was about, I think it was something star trails, and then Chemo said we would need observations of the motion of the stars and this and that, and it was just funny because I've had this conversation a few times with Chemo now about
Well, that's because I said
That I do.
I actually kind of conceded a little bit on the star trails because I don't know what they are. It's kind of out there.
Yeah,
But
they could be projections from the Illuminati or some secret organization projecting the just dots in the sky. That
well,
could
it comes
be.
down
It's
to
probably unlikely, but it could be.
it comes down to if you're measuring the Earth, you got to measure the Earth, not the sky.
True. But can measurements of the sky sort of infer things about where you are?
Well, when it comes to like navigation and stuff, yeah. But like if you look at a shadow, you don't know what the object casting that shadow is. You can get an idea. Like it's like a cylinder. Have you seen that? Where it's like a circle. The shadow's a circle, and it's actually a cylinder.
Can I
And
inject?
then the other side's a square.
Can I inject? Might navigating the Earth tell us something about the surface that we're navigating?
No, she's saying about the sky, I think.
Chemo, shut up.
She said
No,
Do you
navigation.
understand my point, Bella?
Yes.
Yeah.
In order to be able to navigate on the surface of the Earth, you need to know something about it.
Yeah, but Kurt, we know the gray areas that are involved in the east and west type of stuff, man. Why are these things like the rare things like the one more orbit? How come they're never presented in an amazing Randy type of fashion, Kurt? Why is it always just behind closed doors? Hush, hush. What's going on?
Why didn't you ever collect $1 million, Don?
I did it. I passed go too. I'm looking at it right now.
So anyway, yeah, we know what the Earth's surface is. That's how we get around on it so efficiently, not taking the long way.
But again, we're still searching. We're trying to get Bella back to your reality, which you think is a spinning globe.
Nobody's trying to do that. Are you trying to strawman the whole room?
Well, we are
bit.
looking as flat earthers are looking for. You call us names. You are very abusive because you say we've missed something. We don't see what you see. So,
are you strawmanning me again?
In order to correct, not you specifically, but the globe community have been very abusive towards the flat earthers, and there's a reason for that because you feel that we don't see something. The Bella is here now, and we'd like to see what we're missing. Now, you've said you measure...
Not that you don't see something, it's just that you handwave observable reality.
And we're not recruiting. We've got more than enough members.
Yeah. We're full.
Well, again, you're missing
you guys
the point.
stay on your side.
Yeah, this may be
and
sport
we actually don't have any more room.
This may be sport for you, but this is why you're derailing Curve, because like I said, you guys are you're struggling.
We'll accept people that want to come over, refugees.
Well, again, we
will give asylum from Flurp. That's fine.
You accepted Jose, you accepted Sean, you accepted what's his name?
You're the one that's got problems with membership.
You accepted Sheeple. Sheeple was a flat earther. Sean was a flat earther. Jose was a flat earther. So you'll accept anybody who was a flat earther and now sees your way and understands how you see it. So that's what you are trying to do.
Are you just derailing the conversation, Chemo, or is this...
No, we're getting back on track.
We're
looking for the globe evidence here, Moyek. So far we've had measurements of the stars, and Bella's like,
no, you've already seen it. Why are you sea lioning? You've already seen everything. I'm asking here
on behalf of Bella, because again...
Bella's already seen everything, I'm sure.
Well, again, we don't know that. She hasn't spoke to you before, has she?
Well, it's not our job.
Have you presented something to her before?
The entire 2,500 year history of evidence that we have.
I mean, I've looked at a lot of it. I mean, I will say it's probably not a likely chance that you'll give me something new to look at, but...
So then what's the point of the conversation?
Well, Bella, don't lose hope, because again, there's just no way on this earth that these people would believe in something they cannot demonstrate, they cannot prove. So of course we have to keep asking the question, because this would just be a crazy world, right? If people believed that they're flying through space as a normal thing, but they can't demonstrate it. So, there is more they can do. They have this knowledge, but they're not sharing it. Yes.
Curious question for Bella. We're just curious question for Bella here is, You mentioned star trails. I was curious, has there been a demonstration or explanation for flat Earth of how that operates or works?
I'm sure a lot of people have offered explanations, but not really, because it's hard. It's something that we can't really. We can only make models of, basically, and you can't really get a good measurement of it other than relative angles on the ground. And if you do that, you have to make assumptions. That's just where I'm kind of stuck.
What assumptions?
How far away the stars are.
Would you mind if I said no?
Well, it depending on the model, I get on the globe that it doesn't matter that much, other than they're far away. But
Very good. Yeah, I mean they're far enough away that you don't have to measure to them for this to work, to see what you're seeing. And explain how this could be seen if the Earth were indeed flat. It's a geometric impossibility, but don't let that stop you.
well, there's also a couple more factors like how the light is refracted through the atmosphere up there that we just don't know the
Would
whole
you care
story
to
about.
talk about that briefly?
But
How much refraction do you think is going on to make a bit of difference, really?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Well, we can take some of these worthless angular measurements from the ground and see that the stars maintain their angular distance from their respective, central points of rotation, the poles. Stars in the south maintain basically their angular diameter, same in the north. No matter how high or low in the sky they are, just as you get down closer and closer to the horizon, there's a small variation due to refraction, but nothing's being refracted wildly all through the sky, that they're being, pushed around someplace like weird or goofy. It's all very predictable.
Did you say angular diameter
Yeah, that's
of the
how I
stars?
use it. Others.
Yeah, some
No,
stars
not
you can
of the
read
star. The distance from the pole to the star in your field of view. The angular diameter of its distance, the angle subtended by that space, the
You
separation.
mean of the stars relative to the stars around it? What are
Any
you saying?
individual star relative to the pole. Not the pole star, the pole, the center point of the rotation, the Earth's axis extended perpetuity through space.
Difference in the zenith angle.
I don't think she's not following, but
Who said that?
Go look up zenith angle.
One moment.
You're why are you here, Xanax?
Why are you here, Kurt?
You're just
Why are
complicating
you here?
to let you know that you're just complicating things.
No,
That's
you're
why-
complicating things.
That's why I'm
You
here.
have no idea what the word angle means, and you're trying to explain her something.
I keep it simple. You know why? I'm
Why?
simple. Because
You're not
I'm simple.
You're not simple. You're a complicated man, and you're trying to be one step above a flat earther and confusing them.
I'm in no competition, believe me.
Why are you here then?
To let you know that you're complicating things.
No, I just got here, so obviously you're not there for me because I haven't been there.
And
before.
already you've done it.
Look, she doesn't know how to spell angle, and you're using it in a sentence.
Oh,
Okay,
come on.
well, there's no need for that. One, Bella is our friend. And secondly, you don't need a zenith angle for what I'm talking about. What do you on about?
Well, I understand zenith.
so
What does
Bella,
zenith-
there's a few things we can do just to go back on a point you said a minute ago. There's a few tests and measurements and observations we can do that to prove that these lights in the sky are not local and close. Things
Go
like
ahead.
things like taking two separate measurements 6 months apart and measuring something called the parallax of these stars and comparing their parallax between different stars in different parts of the sky and infer their distance from us.
Well, the way I understood it is parallax is very, very, very hard to measure.
But good thing with scientific advancement and instrumentation getting much, much better in the 21st century, we actually can measure these parallaxes quite accurately.
Well, that's the thing. Is it a field authority assumption, or have the civilians done it?
Civilians, yep, civilians, all around the world, not just North America, different countries. Europe has a really great piece of equipment called Gaia, Gaia. It's probably the best instrument to date for making the most accurate measurements of parallax for billions of stars, billions. So yeah,
You mean a spacecraft?
Gaia is a spacecraft, but
So
you
not
don't,
civilian.
that's one example.
Well, as for a civilian example.
Civilian example. Okay.
Pretty sure spacecraft are made by civilians. Very
Well, I mean, I think she's implying that civil servants or government employees are owned by the shill, or like shills, owned by the.
right. Completely reasonable then. Yeah.
So she needs a.
They don't oversee the whole project.
Huh?
Hasn't read the script properly, has she?
Yeah, I thought it was like in that movie Attack of the Clones, where there's robots making other robots. Like everybody in NASA is just a robot, right? Not
Yeah,
people.
clones of
accurate.
the original
So-
person. Yeah.
Curious question is, with the advent of SpaceX being a civilian company, does that qualify for not being a shill, or is that part of the shill?
Well, you're taking the word that I said. I know it's fair to do that, but yeah, technically they're civilian, but they're overseen by NASA. They have access to their computers and stuff. I don't think Elon Musk is. I mean, he's got to be in the club.
Yeah, maybe.
It
Unlikely, but
sounds.
maybe.
It sounds like your starting position here is the Earth is flat, and you're sort of creating stories to make that possible.
Well, earlier I was talking about the laser test and then got diverted away from that.
Is that a
Right.
voice changer you're using?
Nah, everybody says that though. That's an old mic.
I think it's a voice changer.
Well, I hear it a lot.
I think just like
It's just how
her,
you do it now.
it's actually just a squirrel, like, and they're up on someone's roof talking into the gutters.
Yeah.
Your profile picture's a squirrel, right? Like that's not you.
Mabbit, please try to
You don't have
control
to
your
answer that there,
outbursts, sir.
Bella. Because look, this is what happens.
What'd you say?
Yeah, you don't have to answer the nonsense because they're panicking, and every day it gets more and more difficult to provide evidence for the glow. So far, what have you heard that is convincing from the guys?
Here you go, Bella. I gave you a link in the chat for a not government-owned network of telescopes, Las Cumbres Observatory. It's a network. Yeah, network of civilian telescopes in South America, actually in a lot of different places that measure parallax. Anyways,
Let's see.
After searching for that, I totally forget why. Oh yeah. So yeah, we can use this technique to prove that the stars are not local and close. And we've actually measured quite a lot of them and their distances pretty accurately. But anyway,
What do you think of that?
I mean,
Bella?
that's just one thing.
He said
that's just
well, let's get Bella's response. He said he can
Okay.
measure them quite accurately. What do you think of that? Stars.
I mean, maybe she's still reading.
I'm looking over the site. I don't really see the experiment here. Just
The
kinda
title of the
explaining.
page is Parallax and Distance Measurement.
I see it.
Okay.
I don't see the experiment though. Do they have a link to it?
Yeah, there's a nice explanatory video.
Yeah, it's
there's
a visual.
diagram.
Where's the actual measurements done though?
Sorry, what was that?
Like, where's the measurements done? I want to see that. Usually they have like a research paper or something.
Oh, I didn't know you were asking for that. Sorry, you asked for just civilian, not non-government owned telescopes, right? Now,
Or just an example
okay.
of a civilian doing it.
I'll search the archive for parallax measurements taken by Las Cumbres observatories, and I'll get you that paper in a minute. Might be doing this all day. I don't know how skilled you are as a deflecting flat earther, but I'll appease
Well,
you
just
for
post
this
it,
next
we'll see.
question. Yeah, okay.
Well, she already moved the goalpost. She wanted to know if civilians could do it. You showed it, and then she's
Yeah.
asking now she moved the goalpost.
I know.
straight
Well,
to
we'll see. We'll
needing a
see what the
paper.
next thing. I know.
I
We'll
didn't
see
do
what the
anything.
next thing is.
But
No,
yeah,
it's fine.
There
It's
was
fine,
no
Bella.
showing it. I was just explaining
it'll be a downhill slope from here.
I
Did
know,
you
I
see
know,
it?
Bella. No, Bella. I'm just saying that this is a very sort of obvious tactic, practice that flat earthers do. So I'll
understand.
give you the next. I'll
But-
take the third step with you and give you that third piece, and maybe I'll be tired after I give you a paper. So
Well, Kwani, you admit that wasn't actually.
it answered your question. Your question
but it wasn't
was
what I
show
wanted
me
to know.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me what you wanted to know
I just want the
initially.
experiment or the research paper or something on it.
Yeah, with a
I know that sounds like-
non-government owned observatory.
I was just asking for examples of
Of
civilians
just
doing
all
it.
parallax or just
with
civilian
or without
parallax?
what's the with what instruments, what observatory, government owned, civilian owned?
Was that a question?
Yeah, just so I'm clear on what exactly you're asking for. You're asking for a paper on parallax measurements written by
Sure.
anyone with any instrument.
Well,
Okay, written by a non-academic civilian, normal person that's not a scientist with a civilian non-science funded telescope.
I don't know how you
I don't know if that
Listen,
exists.
just post what you're going to,
Okay.
and then we'll look over it.
All right.
And these guys are supposed to be intelligent.
I'm curious. Curious question about. Well, you keep mentioning experiment. Why does it need an experiment to do measurements?
Because
or what
this
are you
website
seeking?
just. Well, an observation or something, because this site he posted just explains how they do it. It wasn't going over an actual example.
Its better terminology is a guesstimation.
And Chronic admitted that.
Was this your first time in here, Bella?
I mostly listen.
Yeah. Okay. You know how these guys operate. They're gonna pretend to be very reasonable with you, calm, and then by the time they're done with this, they'll make sure to make you try to feel like the biggest piece of shit on the earth. That's
When
the
she
little game.
acts like a
We still,
jerk.
we still haven't.
Only if she acts like a Brandon toy.
This is kind of a diversion away from the direct measurement thing I brought up earlier, but I'll play along.
Well, not really, because you want to go ahead and invalidate the government or any government-affiliated measurements as being valid. Is that not correct?
About something I didn't want to go into. I wanted to talk about the direct measurement.
Because we could just refer back to those measurements that are done by government agencies or government-affiliated agencies.
About direct Earth measurement?
Well, currently we're doing about the parallax of the star.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Rotation.
I was saying, I brought up Earth measurements earlier, and then the topic shifted to star parallax.
But anything that we
Well,
show you, like let's just say lidar from satellite or geodetic observations from satellite, you'll just say those aren't civilian. So really what you're asking for is a way that you yourself can do it. Does that sound right?
Well, that'd be nice, but like geodesic. Wait a minute, you're saying satellites do geodesic observations?
Yeah, to determine the shape of the Earth. Yeah.
I'll have to look into that. Did he post a thing yet?
Are you waiting for
No,
Chronic?
I'll at you.
Chronic, we're waiting
no.
on you for the evidence.
Yeah, I hear you, Kimbo.
Yeah.
He's getting it.
Okay.
Calm the fuck down.
Okay.
It's rather very specific demands. So it's going to take me more than 30 seconds. Give me a second.
Okay.
Did anybody mention satellite geodesy?
I just did. Well, that was my question. So direct measurement of the shape of the Earth, I can show her this, but is she going to immediately say, well, that's government owned, or that was launched by such and such government, military, whatever. I want a civilian version that I can do myself. So I was just trying to gauge how far the goalposts would be going.
Have you all
Well,
read
there's
the
some point where
script on this or what?
Huh?
Have you
Mavitt,
read
your mic is shit.
script?
Man, I don't go off no damn script.
Speak louder, Mavitt.
It sounds like you've been briefed, but you haven't read the finer parts of your script, I don't think.
Alright.
So this flat earther is accusing the other flat earther of reading off a script. That's pretty funny.
Why so, Brian? Why do you think that? It's cool.
Just listen, man.
Yeah,
Listen.
Brian thinks she's a plot.
Listen.
He hasn't said anything like suspicious or wrong. What has she said?
No, she's got a voice changer on for a start off. Why?
Man,
Just a bad mind. It's not a voice to relax.
Oh, what if?
I got a new mic. How about that?
How do you know it's not a voice changer?
How do you know
How
it
would you
is?
know? Everybody doesn't have a damn
No
voice changer.
manufacturer would make a
Standards of
mic
evidence. Shit.
sounding
Tell me
like
it
a
is.
bean can, would they? Come on.
No, it just sounds like a bad mic, Brian. You're paranoid.
Yeah, all right. That's just one. Let's listen and watch and laugh at the fucking bizarre show you're putting on.
Mate, even if she was using a voice changer, would that change her argument or the substance of it?
Look, let's just get back to the fucking debate here, or whatever it is.
Yeah, let's do that.
No, let's talk about you, Bella.
Instead of the Earth, because that's what I came in here to
What's
do.
wrong with you, Brian? You're a paranoid idiot.
Well, carry on then. Let's just sit back and listen to the nonsense you're going to come up with.
We do that all the time for you. Why don't you chill out for a bit?
Well, he's kind of upset that he's not the center of attention.
Dude, he wants us to listen to his nonsense.
It's not about me. It's all about Bella.
Well, at the moment, because they're trying to get her back to the globe with the best evidence, and we're all listening. All flat earthers are eagerly listening for this evidence too. So she's not alone. There are thousands, if not millions, who would like to know where is that evidence for the globe. So
I'm not
whether
trying to get
she's
it
a voice changer, which I don't think she is, whether she's whatever the point is, they still have to present evidence, Brian. See?
Chemo, you know they ain't got
Evidence,
nothing
mate. They ain't got
definitive.
evidence for their fucking spinning
Oh,
balls.
there's another fucking flat earther who's trying to stop him. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? You scared? That's 3 you
They
interrupting another flat
estimate.
earther. Jeremy, Chemo, and fucking
They
Brian.
guesstimate the distance to the fucking stars. I mean, it's just nonsense.
I know, Rizla. It's almost like they have to circle jerk each other in their time off. They have nothing else to do.
What about trying to get it back on track?
If you shut up, she can talk. But you and fucking Jeremy and Brian are stopping it. So just
Chemo's
shut the
looking
fuck
for more
up, Chemo.
content.
I said one sentence.
Sorry,
Shut
Bella.
the
Go on.
fuck
Go on.
up,
The
Rizla.
floor
You're
is
just
yours,
cheerleading,
Bella.
Jessica.
Anyway, we're waiting for Chronic
Why
Bella,
not
right?
jump in and cheerlead all the time, Jeremy?
So
If you thought about it,
am.
if you sent us a copy of the script, we could join in.
It's just a flat Earth line question.
Do you want to handle it? Because I'll pass the damn ball to you if you want to handle this shit.
No, it's quite fine. It's all right, Brian. It's all right. She's asking the right questions.
If it were a globe earther interrupting it, you would have muted them by now, Chemo.
No, not necessarily. No,
Yeah, you would have.
no, not necessarily. But anyway, look. Let's get back to. Is Chronic? Are you ready?
You see, they're all back on their heels now. Have you noticed?
Are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah, we're all just stunned by the line of questioning. Mabbit.
Here you go, Bella. Hopefully that PDF loads. I think it should.
Alright.
Surprised, flat earthers usually don't ask for like scientific papers. They think that they're all.
We'll get to that. Let's just see
Well,
what
it's something to
Bella's.
go off of.
We'll get to that.
Instead of the damn media parroting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Misquoting it.
Yep, there you go. So that's from an observatory, which is part of the Las Cumbres network, called Siding Springs Observatory. Parallax results for 20 stars within 10 parsecs of Earth.
American Astronomical Society.
Now, Chemo, we give her
Can you
time
prove that?
to digest the data before we just start, bulldozing over anything else. And if the subject changes in the
prove that,
meantime
Mr.
while she's actually taking the time to read the article, then don't complain about that either.
We don't dismiss and hand wave. We look at your evidence and we'll analyze it. She's doing that right now, and we will give you the conclusion.
I will give her credit. She's the only one I've encountered so far that has actually
Yes.
taken 5 seconds to look at something without hand waving like a
I'm
top.
pleasantly surprised, although Chemo's doing a lot of what he normally does.
True.
Chemo,
but-
we look at their evidence, figure out it's bullshit.
Cheerlead
and,
more.
We're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Rah, rah,
And
rah.
it's funny that Chemo is making this claim a couple days after claiming that papers are just words that people write on a. There's no such thing as scientific papers. That's just words on nothing.
Look,
it doesn't.
this is,
It doesn't show any measurement. It doesn't show any observation. It's just a paper.
This is
They're
for
just
Bella
words.
here. This is for Bella here. Remember, we're trying to, or you guys are at least trying to get her back to the board, right? Because you have
No, we're
globe
not.
evidence.
I'm
already
answering
covered.
Chemo. I am answering the questions that she is asking. Stop cheerleading and saying random things that are irrelevant to the
because
conversation.
we are all
Like you're
interested.
straw manning the whole room.
Every
Chemo.
flat earther
Nobody's
is in-
here
every
trying
flat-
to pull Bella back to our
Chemo.
side. That's just
Every
not what
flat
we're doing.
earther, every flat earther is interested in globe evidence. If there is proof, we want to see it.
Straw to the man. Holy
That's
moly.
hilarious.
Okay? Like I said, there's just no way that we can have so many people believing in something without evidence. That just can't be. So there has to be somewhere the evidence, the proof, to demonstrate your claims. Has to be.
Chemo, but what if someone is inquiring about just asking questions to get answers with just for the sake of it? Why is there some,
Well, I'm helping you along here by getting Bella to...
You're making actually you might be making it worse. Although
I haven't said
it
a word
seems
yet.
like
I haven't
you're
said
ma-
anything, have
you're-
I? I've
you're
said,
helping
I've
them
said
along.
look at the paper,
That also might be.
read it, make your conclusion. Let's talk about it.
Motivation.
You know, I haven't give her any prompting. like what you did about what I said about the papers. Okay, they got to give people a chance.
I'm remarking on the your self contradictions here.
No, again, anyone who wants to know about what shape of the Earth is, and you guys say there's evidence, we can help that and facilitate that. So she can look at that and she can decide what you've presented, right?
Chemo, if you haven't said anything, what do you constitute you're doing right now?
Help facilitating and assisting you guys providing evidence. Hopefully, if Bella sees it, we should see it. If she sees it, I see it, you see it, we all see it, and we're back to where we used to be when we were growing up.
Do you honestly think you just answered the question?
Well,
You're doing a great job, Chemo. You're doing a great job.
Again, we are all interested. Don't think we're not interested. If you guys go to the moon, we will be looking straight away on the moon, to the moon. Who's going to the moon? To Mars. Who's going? Who's on the moon? Who's on the Mars? What's going to the Mars? Everyone, all eyes on moon or Mars. So
what are the odds that Chemo? What are the odds that you read a single word in the abstract of the paper I posted compared to what Bella read? Pretty small odds.
You know my opinion on, but again, let's not prompt Bella.
I do know your opinion. You completely reject any scientific paper
again,
ever
we're trying
written.
to facilitate Bella here, right? Again, and show her that she's missing something. Okay?
You're just talking just to talk. She's reading the paper.
Exactly. So
we don't need you to sit here and just go over and over on what you're trying to do.
Enough filibustering now. Then go ahead, Bella.
Where's the deviation at? I'm trying to see it on this chart here.
That would be table 2. Table 2 is the photometric results. Table 3 is the astrometric results. So photometric means the brightness of the stars. Astrometric results mean the positions of the stars.
Oh.
So, yeah, it depends on what you're asking about. If you're asking about the position deviations, that would be in table 3.
Right.
Yep.
Like I say,
I'm just surprised someone's reading it.
A lot of it makes a lot of assumptions about its distance and the mass.
Has anyone ever interviewed a super soldier and asked them what shape they've seen the Earth to be?
Like Kurt Russell in that one movie?
No. Like Angeli. The dude with the horned hat from the
he's a super soldier?
The riots.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a super soldier. Yeah.
Amazing. I think he was broken though. I heard some of his rants.
What's broken? Who's broken? We're not broken. We're always ready to discuss.
Calm down, Chemo. It's not all about you, bro.
Oh, I think you're saying flat earthers are broken. No, not at all.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The Globers are broken, Chemo.
Good one, Jeremy.
Brain is broken.
We're always ready. I mean, again, any argument. Well, look, let's not jump the gun, but let's get Bella back to the globe, hopefully, and show her what you say we're missing, right?
I've known Bella for 10 minutes and already respect her more than you. She actually reads she actually reads material, Chemo.
Good. That's
she actually
what we
reads
all do.
The material.
Look, I've read papers concerning the measurements of what you're
You've read captions on YouTube conspiracy videos and flat Earth.
No. I mean, again, look, we've been in this a long time, so all the papers that you provided have been read, have been analysed. But now, in this moment,
I'm curious, Chemo. Curious question, Chemo. What papers have you read about the Chinese going to the moon?
The Chinese? No, let's not change subject because that can take us down another lane.
No, this is about the subject of papers and papers specifically that you've read. and you
Yes,
actually
but I don't
previously
want to cast
stated
my.
that if anybody goes to the moon,
Mhm.
you would be highly interested in it. So, what
Yeah, but
papers
let's
of
not
the
cast.
Chinese have you actually read?
Look, again, we're not trying to sway Bella here with what I might say or not say. So let's leave her to decide for herself. Just be patient as she reads the paper. See?
Nah, I guess I'm not understanding. It says
It's okay that you're Bella. It is okay that you're not fully understanding. I with all due respect, I would not expect you to fully understand every detail of the paper. That's with all due respect. Again. Anyways, go on. Continue.
it says
It's a highly technical paper, but go on.
the right ascension. It says these offer about like 1 hour, 9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the actual? Cause I'm not.
So so you're asking about the reference system that's used.
Right.
Yeah, to record the positions of the stars, and so right ascension and declination is one type of coordinate system used to map the stars. It's based on the ecliptic. I could be wrong because there's so many different coordinate systems you can use, but RA and declination are based on the ecliptic, and I think right. So the origin or the zero of that coordinate system would be at Greenwich. So a right ascension of 0 hours would be on a celestial sphere projected in the sky above the globe Earth. A 0 hour would be above Greenwich, and then you move westward and add an hour, and then that's one one component of the mapping. The other component is the declination, or like the 90 degree from right ascension or something. I actually prefer to use my preferred coordinate system is actually galactic coordinates, way simpler than right ascension and declination. But sorry, go on.
Where did it say it changed? Because I'm only seeing the normal declination and the right ascension.
Yeah, so in table 3, in table 3 the columns give the name, the coordinates for the star, the name of the star, the coordinates, and right ascension and declination, the filter for the telescope that was used to make the observations, to make the measurements. The column 5 and 6 are the number of frames that were taken and stacked on each other from the telescopes. Column 7. So the actual measurements of the motions start at columns 10. You'll see a little symbol that's a pi symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so pi in astronomical term, in a lot of the terminology in astro papers, is parallax. It means parallax.
Ah.
Yeah. So the measured parallax, and then right under the pi in column 10 of table 3, you'll see MAS, and that's the units for the measurement that were taken. So the units are milli-arcseconds on the sky. So yeah, all of those values. All of those values are the parallax measured in milli-arcseconds on the sky.
And this is all averaged out.
Sorry, repeat that?
It's all averaged out.
Averaged out. It's
like the chain.
Yeah, so for a given star, for one star, this amount of however many amount of observations were taken, And out of all of those observations, you get the mean and the standard deviation of all of those observations. Yeah. So you get the you can think of it as the average, but also the error on that measurement, the uncertainty.
I thought I read further up something about the uncertainty range.
It looks like all the uncertainties are about 1%, which is pretty good. Quite precise measurements. 1% error is quite small.
And that's 1% of that MAS number?
Yeah, 1% of the measurement. So if the parallax was measured to be a 100 MAS, plus or minus 1 MAS. So plus or minus 1. So that uncertainty of 1 out of 100 is only 1% error, which is really good.
Now,
and this, keep in mind, this was made with a telescope on the ground, less than a meter in diameter. So that the government-owned space, orbiting telescopes like Gaia make orders of magnitude even more precise measurements than these telescopes on the ground.
Are the telescopes moving?
Over the course of the night, yes. They track the star's motion over the sky, when they're moving throughout the night.
Yes, but is the motion of the telescope put into the figures?
I'm sure there's systematics that they account for in the data that they take. So the instrumental systematics, like the temperature in the dome and the any atmospheric effects, any temperatures on the dome, any like the detector that they're using has something called a quantum efficiency.
You said dome.
I did say dome. Uh-oh.
You see, now you admitted it. You have to tell the truth once in a while, don't you?
No, I'm just wondering if they take all Earth's movements into consideration, and obviously.
All right, sorry guys, I've got to read out the money, the super chats. Sorry, they've got to be read out. So this is from the super chats. Sorry, Brian. Yeah, so this is
Speak it. There you go.
This is $5, and this says shout out to the FE ladies, holla at your boy, and that's for $5. There's another one from Coat Show for $2. Shout out to Shroomy. Okay, thanks. Carry on, dudes.
So where are the figures that's taken into consideration of Earth's movement?
Isn't that inherently reflected in the actual coordinate system that's being used?
So
No.
the telescopes themselves have very accurate trackers on them. So if you slew the telescope, if you move the telescope and focus on a star in the middle of the detector, you can essentially lock the telescope onto that star, and it will track the star across the sky. And the reason the star is moving across the sky is because the Earth is rotating.
You're talking of milli-arc seconds, right?
Yep.
So the 1,000-mile-an-hour spin, the 66,000 mile an hour of the Earth rotating around the sun, and the 3/4 of a million mile an hour that we're chasing the sun around the great.
You mean the 15 degree per hour, which is the biggest?
Are all them figures put into your calculations?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, they're not, are they? Because the Earth is
you got me,
stationary
Brian.
and just fucking move.
Yeah, he's scared of big numbers.
You got me, Brian.
So you can't pan something for 15 degrees an hour, Brian?
Caught me with my pants down, Brian.
They're not taken into consideration, are they?
Come on.
It's actually taken
Brian.
into consideration.
Nowhere in your calculations, are they?
Brian,
Brian.
you win.
No,
Brian.
they're not. You're all full of shit.
Brian, what does the actual coordinate system use as the base reference?
Ben, your mic is low.
No, it wasn't. We heard him just fine.
Could be louder.
Shut up.
carry on with the show. I'm
Brian,
loving this.
what does the coordinate system taken based on? Was the question.
I don't think he knows.
Hey guys, I'll be right back.
Oh, you're leaving, Bella?
I appreciate you for actually reading some stuff, Bill. I appreciate it.
No, I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Oh, Jeremy, fella, they haven't written you out the script already.
Brian, why can't
Surely
you
to
answer the question, bro?
Jeremy, you here?
What's up?
If you want to go, we can do it in
They
here.
haven't written you out yet,
Your
fella,
paper
I'm
towel
telling you.
thing I described via picture. I posted it in your DM.
You've got to make
Take a look
quite
at
a
that and see if that
dramatic
answers your question.
change back to the globe to fulfill your fucking role in this complete nutter hogwash story they've created.
Brian's the
Jeremy,
wokest dead of all of us.
Jeremy, take a look at what I sent in your DM and see if
Wokest
that
man
answers your
alive.
question.
Brian's so woke he can't sleep anymore.
I thought you lot could come up with something better than that shite.
I guess Brian wins.
And I'll go over to side note if you want to come in there and talk about it.
Okay, so Percent, you wanted to say something or something?
Don't get pulled in, Chemo. It's his complete wind up.
Who?
Brian doesn't even know who he's talking to.
I know what you bastards do.
Tell him, Brian. I know what these motherfuckers do too.
These bastards
Like
and
that
these mother.
fucking moron, speak truth, see truth, or whatever. it is. What a complete nutter fucking moron.
GPS crashed my drone.
But what we're looking
Go
for,
on, carry
Brian.
on with your bullshit. I love laughing at you. Go on.
What we're looking for, Brian, is globe evidence. Now, let's think about it. There's no way these people could believe they're on a globe without evidence, Brian. Okay?
Oh, yeah, do, mate. They are
thought we were
completely
looking-
brainwashed.
What about flat Earth evidence? I just kind of popped back in. What about flat Earth evidence?
But
Chemo?
it's a globe, isn't it? We've been taught that the Earth was a globe, but we haven't been given the evidence for it. So we're asking, where is that evidence?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
right here, a
uncharted.
good question to ask would be, Brian Mabbott, how many Ds can your race cars pull on a skid pad?
Very funny.
Ds is for densities.
I thought it was for
Earth
nuts.
is not flat. We have hills, valleys, mountains,
what-
trenches. Earth that we live on is not flat. What we all have in common is the same vertical and the same horizontal.
No, we don't.
No, we
Right,
don't.
they say no, they don't, Brian. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the globe
Plumb line here in
opposition.
the U.S. is not the same as your plumb line in the U.K.
Yes,
Our-
it is.
All right.
No, it's
Brian's boring.
Measurably
Back
not.
to what
Brian,
we're
you're
doing.
kind of losing control a little bit. Just let's get a conversation out of this. They must have evidence.
Chemo, that's what they want you to do. They want to keep fucking dragging you around in circles. Can't you see it?
Well,
Measurably
Get it
not.
together, Brian.
there is a
It's gonna be
purpose
okay,
to
bud.
the
We'll
madness,
approach
or
the
method to
rapture
the
together,
madness. There is a method here, Brian, and you know there are people listening, who are also curious about why people believe in this globe. Evidence.
Why don't you tell Brian what was wrong about what he said then, if you don't agree with him?
We're looking for the evidence. We're seeking and we're
Because
searching.
you know what Brian said about the plumb line being the same in England and USA. You agree with that. So why are you stopping him? Why are you gatekeeping?
I'm not gatekeeping. I'm saying let's make a conversation out of it.
So you agree with him though, right?
Well, let's listen out. Let's listen to what
He's
the
trying to
points are.
throw you under the bus, Brian.
Go on there, Brian. Have a word with Rizzler. He's got evidence of a globe.
Don't fucking try that, you cunt. Brian just said that the plumb line in the UK and the USA is the same. He got laughed at and you told him to shut up, basically.
No.
But you agree with that.
What's the
you agree
rebuttal?
with that, no, don't.
Go and rebuttal
Do you not
him.
agree with him, though?
Not about me. Brian has an argument to make.
You
Rebuttal it.
fucking cunt. He's throwing you under the bus, Brian. If anyone's getting set up right, it's you.
Have a word with Rizzler. He's got globe proof, Brian.
Of course I have. Proof in the colloquial sense. from
Got
NASA.
nothing definitive. So
There you
got
go,
nothing
Brian.
definitive
Listen up to the proof from Rizla.
Definitive, direct fucking observations, you goon. Just saying NASA's fake just doesn't cut it.
So what's the evidence? What's the proof? What are you going with? What are you going with? What's your proof?
Direct observation.
My kid's got direct observations of Santa Claus.
So, Brian, back to your plumb lines. Chemo doesn't agree, apparently. Do you want to have a go at him for that?
I didn't give my opinion on either or. We're looking for a rebuttal from you guys.
You're fucking slimy.
Not me versus Brian.
And you told him shut up.
I didn't say that at all. Brian, carry on. So let's make a conversation out of this. And then Brian said that's what they want. So Brian wants to shout just like you are, Rizla. And we're trying to have a conversation because, like I said, there are people out there who are curious about whether there is evidence or not.
Do you agree with Brian that plumb line in the UK and the USA are the same?
Look, again, we're here for discussion.
Yes or no? Chemo, it's simple. Why are you dodging it? He's scared.
I didn't even hear him say that. All I heard was shouting. That was the point. The point was to bring it back down to a conversation.
That was pretty clear.
Yeah, so
he said, of course they are.
So Brian, if you want to carry on, Rizla's got the rebuttal for you.
No, Chemo, why dodging it? Why are you fucking denying it?
Kosho actually said plumb lines wouldn't be parallel on a flat Earth before.
I thought what Joey says. I want to know why Chemo's disagreeing with Brian.
I didn't disagree or not disagree. I didn't even hear him say that.
You slimy bitch.
All I heard
Brian,
was just shouting, and that's why I brought it to this point now to have a
Brian,
conversation.
why don't you ask him? He might answer you.
This is not flat earthers versus flat earthers. It's you guys, the globe, supporting your claims, and we'll give you flat earth evidence once you show that the earth is a globe. And then obviously we can't show you as evidence of a flat earth, because we've obviously proved it's a board. So let's do that.
Give us something definitive and verifiable.
I mean, you counted it out.
They got nothing, bros.
They have percent. Listen, Jeremy, Brian, listen up, guys. Again, look, there is no way that these people, all of these people, we've got like 60 people, minus the flat earthers in here, so like 50, 55, whatever. There's just no way they can have this belief, this idea that the earth is spinning, flying through space with no definitive, as you say, percent proof. There's just no way. How can that be?
There is. Propaganda.
It's because they're using pseudoscience and inductive logic.
Welcome to reality, guys. Welcome to reality.
Two reasons of why they can't do it.
No, what do you mean welcome to reality, Pyro? Reality is demonstrations. That's reality. Where are the practical experiments proving rotation, proving your space, rockets, satellites? Where are these things? What do you mean welcome to reality?
There's observations, but you reject them, so...
Reject them? What
you've already seen them dozens of times.
All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Like
Pull them out. Let's have a look.
Let's see a demonstration.
Are you afraid?
You've already seen it, Jeremy.
What have we seen? What did we see? What did you show? What have we seen?
Here's what we want to see, Chemo.
What have we seen? What did they show before? Let's talk about it. What have you shown?
Well, you got sunsets and sunrises.
Sunsets?
You can't BC, I thought.
Sunsets are easily explained on a flat earth. What else?
I can't get into anything too deep right now, Moyak. Sorry.
Call out to Jessica.
What else do we have? Sunsets are
you
easily explained
can't
on a
demonstrate
flat
it,
earth.
can you?
Pardon?
You can't demonstrate it.
Demonstrate a sunset on a flat? Of course we can.
How?
Well, we hypothesize the cause to the effect, and we hypothesize...
Where's your demonstration?
That's not a
Where's
demonstration.
the demonstration?
The demonstration here, I can provide it for you. Give me a second.
Without the lensing effect.
That is the demonstration. That's the predicted cause to the effect.
Well, I don't see a lens that look like that.
You don't see gravity either.
Give the hypothesis.
You don't see gravity either, Pyro.
The hypothesis and one experiment.
Pyro, you don't see gravity, do you?
Stop deflecting.
Hello?
Stop deflecting, Chemo.
Hello? Give me your hypothesis and one experiment, please.
No, I'm talking to Pyro here.
Well, we don't see magnetism. Does that invalidate it?
Exactly. This is Pyro's point. I don't see a lens.
What?
So you're on my side, and that's the point here. You don't have to...
Chemo, didn't you say you had a hypothesis?
No, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Why don't we let Kimo deliver his hypothesis that he was
And
going
where's
to
your
demonstrate
demonstration?
the Earth is flat?
Yeah, I'm going to post it now. So,
Are you going to put up that same video where he actually doesn't show his arm traveling in a parallel
predicted
manner
cause
with the
to
actual
effect,
sun?
Predicted cause to effect is the atmospheric lensing. So we need some type of lens to show that the ships, the sun, mountains, whatever goes beyond that non-physical horizon is being magnified in some way. Now, obviously, we can go to the laboratory, get out a lens, get out an object, create a horizon, and replicate what we see in reality. So this is easily explained on a flat Earth. What else do we have for globe Earth proof?
So you can't bring in perspective because perspective just blows it out of the water. So what is it? Is it perspective or is it mirroring?
Excuse me, sorry, we've got another super chat. Again, the money's rolling in. Again, because we're focused solely on, the priorities, the most important thing. So anyway, this is from Coach Show. He says, Rizzler gargles mayonnaise for pence. Thank you for keeping it clean and so. Yeah, that's for $2. But
he's a tight git.
So Kimo, is it lensing or is it perspective that causes the sun to disappear?
What causes that? Yeah, that's lensing. Yes, lensing.
So, but what happened to perspective?
To get your perspective, it depends on the atmosphere. If it gives you a clear enough sight to see, obviously things get smaller and smaller, and obviously you'd have to go a lot higher to get that effect.
But how come you don't really ever see it get smaller?
You do. I just said if you go higher, high enough.
High enough will make the sun get smaller?
Yeah, if you go high enough, above the clouds where, it's a lot colder, and there's not a lot of warm mixing with cold air as you go higher. Yeah, it's just like cold air or something. You get to see a lot further.
What?
So we know it gets colder.
Somebody quote that shit. Somebody please quote that shit.
Yeah, it gets colder the higher.
Another Just Tool story.
No, it gets colder the higher you go, right? So if it gets colder the higher you go, you're not going to have that warm temperature and cold temperature mixing as much like you would on the ground.
Oh, so all right. So by the time I get to the sun, it's gonna be microscopic.
No, don't you understand? So, like I said, we can know that the lens.
Okay, so higher up I get means the closer I am to the sun. Why the hell would it get smaller?
Why what? Sorry, I was just looking at the chat there. Sorry.
Because there's no thermal mass up there. The reason it's warmer down here is because the sun hits the ground.
No, why would the object get smaller as the higher I go?
You need to learn what thermal mass is.
But you're getting closer to the object. So the
Doesn't
sun's going to be
matter.
like very small by the time you reach it.
Yeah, but
It
remember,
doesn't matter. It doesn't hold the heat at all.
What does that have to do with the size?
Stop freaking out, dude. What's wrong with you?
I thought there was a demonstration of this, though. You got a
I've
demonstration?
just posted it. I've posted it in chat.
All right.
I'll post it again. There, look. We've got a boat. We can replicate the sun. I'm going to upload another video. I've got one coming. I should have added to this one because I found out a little bit. So I've got another one with like a flame. So a flame, it's just like, a live thing going on behind the lens. Same effect. It disappears bottom first.
Wait, is that an observation or a demonstration?
This is experimenting with what I see in nature, and I'm predicting the cause to the effect that I see. I'm trying to replicate what I see. I tested the curvature first. First hypothesis was curvature. It's got to be curvature. So obviously you go out there, you try and find...
So which one is it? Is it an actual demonstration or an observation there that you just posted?
No, that was an experiment, yeah. That's me manipulating my independent variable there and showing the effect. Yes, the cause. I'm giving you the cause and the effect. Ships disappearing bottom first, sun disappearing bottom first. What's causing this? Why is this happening? Like I said, first of all, I thought it was the curvature, and then obviously you test. You've got to do research. You've got to find out if the Earth is actually curving, and say, oh, it's not.
So these are observations.
No, what is wrong with you, dude? Try to listen. So you go outside, look at the sun. That's
an observation.
Yeah, so that's the first step. You look at the sun, you say, whoa, is that going behind? Is it going down into the Earth, like into the Earth? Is it going around the curvature? Or is it something else? Is it, you've got to do some research. So, at this point, you've got questions, you're curious. This is the method now. Now, I've got to think. This is my hypothesis. I've got to think, what's causing that? Like I said, I thought it was the curvature. It's not curvature because there is no curvature. It's got to be something else.
So you haven't provided a demonstration of this?
Of what?
Well, it was previously asked for you to provide a demonstration of the sun setting on a flat Earth.
Yeah, I've just did that. I did that. Scroll up. I've just posted it. This is the third time and the last time I'm going to post it.
So, Chemo, did you have a control?
Third and last time.
You showed that Rob Skiba one?
You keep posting this video that's actually of observations when it was asked for a demonstration.
Yes.
Did you show him the Rob Skiba
Did you even watch the video?
Yes, I did watch the
control
video.
there, Chemo?
So what we've got, a ship.
And we haven't even gotten into what you think you're manipulating here.
So we've got a flat table, and we've got a ship, we've got a lens, and the ship is disappearing bottom first on a flat table. Understand? And then we can do it with the sun, we can do it with the building on a flat table. Make sure that it disappears bottom first with the lens.
That's not a flat table in relationship to the actual camera angle.
Yeah, well, it's not a curved table.
Couldn't that just be a camera trick? Why are you trusting that?
A camera trick? You can test this
Yeah,
yourself.
why are you trusting that? Couldn't they just been faking that video?
No, you can test this yourself.
Well,
he's not accounting for the angular size of his sun in that demonstration.
Didn't you do
He's
any
not accounting for
calculations?
that.
And there's no observation from a high height that shows that things are smaller either.
There's
Which
no
is what you claimed earlier.
There's no calculations needed because all we're doing is looking for the cause to the effect.
Right, if you ignore other things like angular size.
Again,
then,
that
yeah,
is
you
not
can
a
make those
variable
observations.
that we can manipulate in the laboratory here.
Right, again, when we observe nature, the sun doesn't change in angular size.
So
In your
is angular
demonstration,
size
it
the
does.
cause?
But no, you can interrupt me all you want, but I'm gonna get to the end of the sentence.
Go on.
In reality, we don't observe the angular size change of the sun. In your demonstration, we do. So if you want to ignore that, you need to say we're gonna ignore that. But I'm bringing that up as a flaw in your demonstration.
No. If you take away the lens, you get a different effect. You introduce the lens, you get a different effect. That's the purpose of the experiment.
Yeah, and I hit you with the paper of Andrew Thomas Young saying that the atmosphere magnifies. Your guys' excuse was he used magnification in a weird way.
That amounted to less than fuck all, Jeremy. Also.
No. We've explained sunsets, and
Yes.
No. I know you don't like science and all this stuff, manipulating independent variables. I know you don't like that. You want to calculate it, but that's not going to give us any answers.
The effect
Well,
that he was
that's
trying to put
entirely
out there
false.
was fuck all.
We very much like to actually manipulate independent variables and actually do experiments.
Except not when it comes to the heliocentric model.
Exactly.
That's inherently false. Could you repeat that again and somehow
So
think that it's going to be valid this time?
Okay, so
Yeah,
where are the
SC
empiric
Montreal.
experiments proving the heliocentric model?
Doesn't prove anything. People say this.
Well, I know that you've been presented with the actual experiments before and you hand waved them away. So what's your criteria
Like I
now?
asked Curve an hour ago. Why, when they got this, he talked about mapping, traveling. Why, when they do these extraordinary things like the north to south circumnavigation, we don't have it documented, Amazing Randy style? Why?
Because
What's
nobody,
your
satisfaction?
Yeah, no reasonable person denies that.
No, that's the world
Wait,
satisfaction.
I'll tell
That's
you why,
the
dog.
world.
Dog.
Amazing claims
Dog.
need amazing proof. But why do you have a double standard? Why, when the guy says
Dog.
he can turn pages of a book with his mind,
Mikey, hold
why
on.
does the scientific world? Because
You
why
won't
does the scientific
stop.
world want to fucking Amazing Randy then? But then when it's some crazier shit like
let
the
him
fucking
finish.
magic of the heliocentric
John,
model,
stop
you just
shouting.
cool with a story.
Don, calm down.
Don't do you know when to
stop?
I'm
No
trying to
reasonable
answer
person
you.
thinks that's impossible, man.
I'm trying to get a pen and paper. Get a pen and paper. You don't
Dog,
got to
you
attack me
gotta
all at
stop.
once. Write it down and think about it for a minute.
Don, can I answer you? You say why we don't have anything. I'll tell you why. Because whoever did it is a private citizen, and they do with the money whatever the fuck they want. They don't owe you anything.
Right, but why as a little numpty
Because
dumpty
they don't
you
want
believe
to. They don't owe you anything.
Right, so why do you believe it? Where's your proof? That's their private proof then, right?
I'm good with what they did,
So basically, they trust it depending on the source.
No, I'm good
it's
with
simple
what they
as that,
said.
man. You say Amazing Randy style. Amazing Randy is dealing with things that seem supernatural and impossible, not something that most people, reasonable people, don't think is impossible. So there's nobody who's doesn't believe the Earth is flat or something like that. Like regular people, they don't require that documentation to prove that that's happened. You know what I mean?
Don, look, this
I mean,
screaming,
brainwash people don't require it.
this screaming and shouting, Don, is I don't know why you're doing that right now. I mean, you can get your time on the mic, of course, but you don't have to, scream at us. Okay? Please.
Sorry, Chemo.
Okay. Because we're all just talking, right? We're trying to get Bella back to the globe, yes? With the evidence. And we're not trying to scare...
that was already covered. That's not a requirement.
Well, put us on the plane. One time, Chemo, if you were on the plane, that same type of flight, like, isn't that what we want? Isn't it crazy they don't have that to throw in our face, Chemo? You know what I mean? Sincerely, I know I don't agree with a lot, but that I agree with.
Yeah, we're looking for evidence.
They don't care.
Yeah, we do. We want evidence of the globe, spinning ball, flying through space. We want this. Provide it.
Don, they don't care. The people that do that, they don't care about that aspect.
Anyway, look, Bella's
if
back.
someone told me that, if someone thought that X-rays didn't exist, I would have no desire to provide proof. Although I work with it every day.
That's not
it's
a wild
so
claim.
nonchalant to me. And
X-rays
it's
are
so
verifiable.
everyday and normal.
Right, but
that if
that's a
someone
weird
denied
thing.
it, I have no obligation to provide proof because there's no desire to do so. It's so nonchalant and everyday.
False equivalence.
Right. There's a two-way street. It's like a gray in the middle where you go, oh, well, they don't want to have to meet your standard. And then on the other hand, they're just like, oh, well, why would we want that? It's like, wait a minute.
It's not why would they want that thing. It's a we know why that doesn't happen regularly, why they don't do north to south travel regularly. We know that it's happened before, but it hasn't been recorded in the way that is acceptable for you. But it's been recorded
For most critically thinking people.
It's been that there's record that it's happened, but it's not the record.
Show it to me once, though.
That's what I'm saying. You should show it. Show you the record. Show you on videotape.
No, show me.
Show you that someone said that they did that and showed you their flight. Showed you the path of their flight. Because I'm sure that exists.
Just one 360 orbit of a thing, like it's like
on camera.
The videos are
24 hours. You want 24 hours video.
That's what I'm saying. Is that there's no reason to understand that it doesn't exist is one thing, but to claim that because it doesn't exist that someone is holding something from somebody, that doesn't make any sense. This happened like 40 years ago, so they're not going to have video record of that.
As far as consistency, Don, would you require a live stream of someone going into the Marianas Trench or someone getting to the peak of Mount Everest? Would you require the same level of evidence for those things?
Yeah, we would want uncut footage. We wouldn't want the camera to just be turned on and go, look here, this is a place.
Nobody ever climbed Mount Everest.
Nobody's ever been here, but see these rocks here and these rocks here? These are the top of Everest rocks. You have to trust us. No, I wouldn't believe them.
Do you think James Cameron went down to the Mariana Trench?
Look, bro, it doesn't have to be live stream, but you want believable documentation. Think about when your rockets go up and they show you these low Earth orbits.
I'm asking you a question.
Have you ever seen one go all the way around 90 minutes?
I feel like I'm asking you a question.
Did James Cameron go to the bottom of the Marianas Trench? I don't know.
Do you believe that he did?
Don't know.
Belief is different than knowing empirically.
Okay. Well,
if they did a live stream, you still wouldn't know.
Are you denying?
You still wouldn't know if they did an uncut live stream. None of the things you asked for are actually
live
proof.
Stream. It doesn't have to be live stream, bro.
Whatever it is, it wouldn't be enough.
His camera broke when he went down there, so he didn't get any usable footage. But there's no reason to there's no reason to think that. There's no reason for me to deny that he's gone down there.
Denying it is different than saying you haven't proven it to me. Those are two different.
But nobody's claiming they've proven it to you, though.
Again, you got to show believable documentation. I'm not denying that you've done it, but I don't have to say that you've shown me believable documentation. All I say is it's hearsay. You've said that you've done it. You said it.
We're just trying to find consistency and inconsistencies to see what your
extraordinary.
level
There's not going to be consistency because extraordinary. Every claim
fine.
has a different magnitude of extraordinaryism,
and that's fine.
Extraordinarism.
That's what we're trying to establish is that you have an inconsistent basis for evidence for particular things. That's all.
Good luck to try to establish that. I'd agree with you as soon as you present it. You have a case to summarize?
You just told us you don't believe anything.
Another
way of saying that is you have a
with actual facts.
Another way of saying that is you have a confirmation bias.
Yeah, well, the dudes are idiots. He goes, "You just told us you didn't believe anything." No, I've said certain things that you've presented. I wouldn't believe those, but I believe my wife is standing here right next to me.
Yeah, so you need personal experience to believe something, right? To know something. So how many things does that exclude from your knowledge base? Everything, practically.
Everything, practically?
Practically everything.
What is wrong with you?
So many things are accepted as true.
I don't know James Cameron.
Believing is different, bro.
You're not willing to accept.
Believing is different. And I never even touched it. I believe that, there's real there's chickens and not cats in Chicken McNuggets. I've not seen it. Okay.
Don't you think that's by the same?
So you're just a dumb. How does it feel to be wrong all the time, though? Go back to your microwave.
You tell me, Don. How does it feel?
That's the same degree of trust.
There's some super chats I need to do that we may have missed. Did anyone do them?
I read a couple of them.
Oh, you did? Well, I'll do them again anyway. Shout out to the FE ladies. Hola at ya, boy. This is from Coat Show. And who also says, shout out to Shroomy. And also says, Rizzler gargles mayonnaise for pence. So thank you very much for those super chats, Coat. Enjoy. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
They spent more.
They
spent more on this.
No, Jeremy, this is important.
What is I think it may have been PENCE. It should have been.
You might have remembered.
Can I get salad cream instead of mayonnaise?
They spent more on a super chat than you're going to make all week.
Or was it meant to be penis?
No, it's supposed to be.
But it doesn't make sense if it is.
What do you guys use for pence?
But a girl with salad
it makes
cream.
more. It makes more sense than pence.
A girl with salad cream would be someone with a disease. Mayonnaise is the way to go.
Well, I don't guess why they just didn't call me a cum guzzler.
You got to pay.
That would just be rude. Come on.
I think that might have been the general theme of this comment, Rizzler, possibly.
Yeah, but why say pence? What the fuck?
I think that one was just too obvious.
They were
Anyway,
being poetic,
carry on.
I feel.
For money.
Anyway, there are extraordinary claims, and there's nothing wrong with being like, sure, I'm glad you said you've done this. The public wants to know. The public has doubts. Okay. Well, you're in denial of reality, buddy. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I didn't make. Hold on. I didn't make a compare the strong enough contrast that I wanted to before. On one hand, you'll be like, oh, you would never believe that. These people wouldn't even believe it if they saw it, and you are wrong. Like, I would believe it. You're just straight up fucking wrong. And then you want to wiggle out on the other hand to be like, oh, well, that's not what they're going out there to do.
It's easy to say that
you wouldn't
before
believe it.
you see it, isn't it?
Bullshit. It's total bullshit, dude.
What's stopping someone from going up into space and then being told, well, you know what, that visor in front of your face, that's actually curved, And then suddenly they're second guessing whether or not they saw the curvature of the Earth. That might not be you, but plenty of flat earthers, that is exactly what they would do.
Exactly. That's why we should come together and work together and map it. And
let's do that. Let's all work together.
The excuse of this is private. They're not there to fucking help. Go fuck your little private ass gang. We're talking about open science here. You know what I'm saying?
Together. How do we do this, Don?
Let's north-south circumnavigation. Let's go with a video for the public. Let's go.
Circumnavigation is going to map the globe for you.
Yes, it will if you keep doing it in different directions. Are you kidding me? We can add in some wind.
Different
We have all the
direction.
wind.
God,
I mean, are you serious?
It's been
God, yeah,
done.
practical.
Yeah, it's practical. It's a plane and some fuel. We
without-
do it hundreds of times every day. Are you see? This is weird. This is what gets weird with me, guys.
No, wait,
this
Don.
is why flat Earth is
man.
interesting.
You better calm down, man.
Don,
The people scared
polar-
of science because they don't want to do anything for the flat earthers. This is the very weird
Kosher, just
behavior,
let him
guys.
finish making his point. You interrupted him. He's going to make him go longer. Just let him.
Well,
make his
Don,
point.
it's absolutely not weird behavior.
Thanks for
Sorry, have I
respecting my
interrupted?
opinion. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You can just polar opposite argument, but yeah, I know your side of it. But
I'll tell you why
appreciate
it's
you
not
letting
on
me try to
behavior.
get to the end.
No one is obliged to put in labour to prove things to flat earthers. And thinking that people should and that it's suspicious that they haven't is just ridiculous. You're just trying to get 2 bites of the same
Right. So
cake.
so you love some of your brothers, but you don't love the stupidest ones. I got it. That's
Don, people
No,
have done it. Families
No,
done
because
it.
you fucking lie to yourself and you make an excuse that they
Let me
would
make
never
it clear.
believe it. They would
Let me-
never believe it. I'll put in work to show some people, but I'm not going to show extra people.
No.
You
Stop.
guys are the inconsistent ones.
Hello?
You're fucking inconsistent.
Hello? Stop shouting! And what you're forgetting, Don, is I know the shape of the Earth. I know it absolutely 100%. There is absolutely no doubt at all about the shape of the Earth. I have no reason. I have no reason at all. I have no reason. Listen! Shut up! I have no reason at all to, no obligation whatsoever to try and convince somebody on some random tit on the internet that is just being an idiot and is indulging a fantasy because it makes them feel good. And I can see that they are doing that. Why would I bother on some
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
absurd endeavour to try and convince them that the Earth's flat?
Why'd you make it satirical? I'll tell you why. Because they might throw
It's ridiculous.
And they might keep throwing these milestones at you. And you might find out one little keystone gem.
What? The bit
You
of
might
effort.
find one little keystone that becomes suspect, and then
the
all of a
bit of
sudden, all
effort.
these things
No,
that
I
they're throwing
won't.
back at you,
No, I
you're
won't.
not going to be able to
No, I
validate these
won't,
stuff.
Don, I won't find one little bit that's suspect. That's just your fantasy. That won't happen. The Earth is spherical. There is no doubt about this whatsoever. It's
Jim,
known
you might
and has
find
been
out that
known
the
to
microwave
all
is
of
on,
humanity
buddy.
for 2,500 years. It's not going to be suddenly found to be incorrect because of some lunatics on the internet that get an emotional kickback from pretending that they've got the edge and that they're woke and everyone else is asleep. That's the reason why people think the Earth's flat, not because of some lack of some specific piece of arbitrary evidence that you've dreamed up. It's because it makes them feel good to pretend that they're better than everyone else. If I was going to make any effort, I'm nearly there. If I was going to make any effort in this regard whatsoever, it would be to take you lunatics to a psychiatrist and have them work on you for a bit so that you get over this silliness.
See, but that's what but see, you go into the big point of you're back to just the Earth being round or flat again. When I've collapsed it to the compartment of just north to south circumnavigation, and I think each type of demonstration, each piece of evidence, and all these type of things, they're worth a value of on their own individualism. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to keep going back to, oh well, we understand this larger macro, so we don't need to look at these tinier things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm trying to make a rational point just about the demonstration of science. And then when it's like, again, you like demonstrations of
I have a
science,
serious question
but
for
then
you.
it's like, if I'm talking about it because I might think the Earth is flat, well, now you want to use energy and take me to the psychiatrist. You don't want to do science energy anymore, but I'm really not crazy.
I have
But
a
then you have
serious
this
question
arbitrary
for
line.
you.
It's so weird, Jim. It's so inconsistent.
It's not inconsistent. It's not inconsistent at all. I accept the expertise of people who have expertise in a certain field. And so, what can I add to what's already been produced? What can I add to...
That point's strong.
Listen, what can I add to 200 years of geodetic surveying? What can I
You get out
add?
of video. In this
What can
case,
I
you
add?
get out of video.
Listen,
Your point is very
listen.
strong. Your
You
point's
ain't
strong.
called shit, Jem. You're useless.
What can I
his
add?
point's strong. That's a good point, Jem.
Hang
Like, we
on.
should.
What can I add to thousands of hours of video and photographs from space?
You
what
could
can I
add video
to
of a
this?
north-south circumnavigation, Jem. See, this is
Well,
your the
There's
answer to your
already
question
been
is what
north-south.
started this.
There's already been north-south circumnavigations. There was one last year.
Video.
But of course, you don't accept it.
Video.
Because you don't accept it. There was video of it, but of course there wasn't constant video of it flying for 3 fucking days or whatever
There
it
was
is.
just video
So
of
you
them
deny
on the
it.
side of the plane.
But I don't deny it. I think that happened. Reasonably. I think that people go to Antarctica every year. I think that people go across it. They walk across it. They camp there. They visit it. They go all around it. That happens all the time.
All you have is opinions, bro.
I'll get off. I just want to summarize
All
one
of
thing to
that,
Jem.
all of
Jem,
that is supported by evidence. None of it is opinion.
You're right.
None of it is empirical.
One thing I want to present to Jem. Jem, we have the same
of it is
sentiment. Where
empirical.
you ended up, Jem, when you said, I want to confer to the experts, and what can I add? I'm left in that same position as you, Jem. What can I add? But that doesn't mean I need to stop and not have anything to add. Okay, and that's it, man. That's maybe where we were a little different, but I do have that same feeling of what can I add?
What then you should do it, then, Don. If it's this important to you to do that, to go circumnavigate north to south, then you should do it instead of putting the pressure on everybody else in the world for not giving it.
But what you want to do is not do it and excuse the fact that you've
That's
not
really
done
not
it.
true. No,
And
listen,
and excuse
I
the
can't allow you, but on me, you say flat earthers want to do that.
If you try and censor, okay, we're going to do it that way, are we? All right. What you want to do is not do it and blame the fact that you've not done it on the fact that we won't do it with you. We don't subscribe to this absurd philosophy.
Done.
We don't subscribe to this absurd philosophy that you need to go and prove every fact about the world to yourself personally. That's ridiculous. If you want to engage in that, go ahead, but don't expect me to waste any of my life on it.
A curious question about the circumnavigation is with the north-south stipulation, what is the difference between that and, say, like a 60-60 arc?
Point though, is that if it's that important to get it done, it's nobody's responsibility to do anything like that for anybody. If it's something that you think is important, then
don't group me.
There's nobody.
Burden of proof shifting. It's your responsibility. Whoever makes the claim, it's their responsibility.
There's nobody in the world. So that is
It's just a thing that you say so you can play games in here.
Jem,
Nobody's
that's
made
not
the
true,
claim.
Jem. Please, brother, that is not true, Jem.
Yes, it is. It's so that he doesn't.
Jem, it's not.
It's so that
For
he
me,
never
it isn't,
has to
Jem.
assume the burden of proof, and he can sit there having people deliver things to him to try and convince him that he can just come up with some ridiculous reason to deny. That's all he's doing. We're not. We are not. Nobody is obliged. No human is obliged to convince any other human of anything, regardless of what they say. They can walk around telling people they're Napoleon all day long if they want to. They're still not under any obligation to prove anything to anybody. That's bollocks.
They're under the
essentially.
obligation of providing empirical evidence for their claim, which they have not done.
No, they
It's
are
been
not.
done in spades.
If you like, I'll prove it. I will prove it. I will walk around for the next week, and everyone I speak to, I will tell them I'm Napoleon. And I guarantee there will be no consequences whatsoever for me not proving that
Okay,
to
but when
them.
you do that, are you being intellectually honest? in your
Yo,
claim?
he actually might be wrong also.
That's what I thought, Jeff.
You keep saying that, dude, and then someone tells a cop to say hi to you, then you tell the cop that, and then they who knows?
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's part of his idiotic game that he got from 24/7, and he's pretending it's a thing in
I
real
didn't get it
life.
from 24/7,
When it
bro. I
isn't.
got it because I studied philosophy.
Jim, it's
Clown.
going to be on
The problem that I've got with the
Jim,
position percentage is very simply this.
We feel your pain, Jim. We
Okay.
understand we were there one time when we believed it all. We feel your pain, man. It's going to be okay. Just just understand that we're here for you, man.
Okay, David. Thank you. I'm grateful for your support.
So the point I very quickly wanted to make was quite simply this: is when you're presented with evidence and then you reject it because it doesn't meet your criteria, the burden then falls on you to go and get that. Yeah, no, it does, because it's satisfactory to everybody else in here.
No, it's not. That's appealing to majority. That's fallacious right there.
That's
It's
making
an undetermined amount of evidence.
Sorry,
I'm 1/300 million. I'm 1/300 million from NASA's budget.
Right now, Don, you and fucking percentage, you guys, both of you are fucking think it's okay to continue to scream over people. It's not okay. Nobody wants to meet you guys. Stop fucking doing it. Wait for someone to finish talking and then speak when they're done. From now on.
Well, Coach Show asked me earlier on if someone was like over talking and wasn't going to stop just to stop, so that's what I'm doing. But the problem I've got is again, you want to take it down this sort of reductio ad absurdum kind of route, where nothing is ever good enough, and you'll always try and equivocate a fault.
Straw man.
Because no, it's not a straw man, because I take the vacuum.
No one said I want to do that. You're straw manning me.
Vacuum chamber and dropping things.
That's not absurd.
And the fact that one molecule could make a difference.
I never said that, did I?
Yes, you did. That's what it came down to. That's what it came down to.
That's a lie, Druss. Be on it. I asked for a demonstration of astronautics because they claim that 20,000 or so satellites have been launched and all this stuff. There's all these, all these are astronautic
We're talking about dropping things
actions or events, and they don't have a single demonstration.
Percentage, you brought it up before with objects dropping in a vacuum. You've talked about different air pressures causing things to fall at different rates, and then we've gotten to an absurd amount where it's a one molecule away from being a perfect vacuum, and you still made the claim of it'll make a difference. That's the extreme that you've made.
Okay, I might have said over an infinite distance it'll make a difference, but the point there was that nothing is falling at exactly the same speed because we don't have a perfect vacuum.
But the point is,
that's
how extreme you get.
Then you're denying the law of non-contradiction, and you're a fool.
Again, I'm just pointing out your inconsistencies and the extremes that you go to try to make an invalid point.
It's not an inconsistency. If you have even one molecule, then it's not a perfect vacuum. Do you disagree?
Again, if you want to go to these extremes,
do you disagree or not?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else.
That's the context of that claim. All right.
Absurd claim.
If you say so, but the point is, if it's not a perfect vacuum, then there's going to be molecules, and they're not going to be falling at the same rate.
Would you accept that you bringing that up and talking about a single molecule within a vacuum of whatever volume? Would you agree that is an extreme measure to take?
Extreme measure to what do you mean extreme measure? It's about the principle. It's not going to be a perfect vacuum.
But one molecule in a vacuum chamber. What are the odds of colliding?
And I never once said one molecule in a complete vacuum chamber. So that's another strong attempt.
You have.
No, we said one molecule per cubic. I think it was cubic centimeter or something like that.
Got down to one.
Maybe even cubic meter. We didn't say the entire vacuum chamber. So that's another strong man attempt.
No. You said that a few times.
This is sad. Sad. You guys make claims. The burden of proof is on you for empiric evidence. You failed to provide it for your core claims of the heliocentric model. You guys are found wanting.
You don't understand.
We provided it. It just hasn't met your personal standard.
No, not my personal standard. It hasn't met any standard of empiric evidence. It's not verifiable. It's not definitive, and it doesn't have any sort of.
Give me a second. Dross, stop coming back over for a second.
Sorry.
Percentage. Please, for the love of God, back away from your microphone some.
All right.
Carry on.
So, Don, are you still here by any chance?
Everybody just turn him down to 20, 50%. He doesn't bother you anymore. But you can still hear him clearly.
There's a point about the whole vacuum thing is not that it's not true, is that it has it brings nothing to any argument at all. It's a fun fact, if anything. It means nothing in any discussion, and it's been used by you as some sort of gotcha, but it really means nothing.
Not at all.
It means nothing. It's something that everybody's agreed on. But no,
actually, half the Globers in here disagree.
I was there in the conversation. Everybody agreed on it.
No, they didn't. Not everyone
agrees that there's nothing is a perfect vacuum in some amount of volume, and everyone also agrees, except for you, for some reason, that that has no effect in any observation being made. So there's no point in bringing it up.
It could have an effect, actually, depending on the observation. To say no observation is dishonest or short-sighted.
I'm saying is this tactic that you're using currently, right now, that you've just used. This is what's annoying people, man.
It's not a tactic. It's just a simple.
That's the thing. It brings nothing to the conversation to bring that up.
You shouldn't have observations that are arguable.
It's a simple fact. It's a simple fact that nothing will fall at the same exact rate because unless they have the same amount of density and the same amount of air resistance and drag, and all things are exactly the same. If they're the exact same objects, then they'll fall at the same rate. If they're two different objects, they will not fall at the same rate. The bowling ball feather thing was a fucking gimmick. It was gimmicky. It was a propaganda tool.
I agree with you.
All right, look, finish your point. Finish and stay finished for a second. And back away. You forgot to back away from.
I backed away a bit.
Well, you're still popping like a goddamn Orville Redenbacher's package.
I might have to turn my mic down a bit.
I agree with you. You're right. You're right about that fact. Okay, you're right. The problem with this moment is that this has already been done. We've already agreed this happens. It also is one of those. It's not even a fun fact. It just is a fact that means nothing to anybody anywhere ever. So that's why I don't know what point you're trying to make with that, other than the fact that that's blatantly true.
Okay, I appreciate that you agree, but the fact remains that it's geared towards the general populace, and Brian Cox is supposed to be like an esteemed scientist or astrophysicist or whatever, and he pitches it as these two objects are falling at the same exact speed, same exact rate.
They are
because only an idiot would have to make that distinction.
But see, not everyone agrees, Kosho. There you go.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying what you're saying right now is the problem, dude. What you're saying right now is the issue. What Brian Cox said was the truth. What you said is,
really?
technically, they're moving at the different rates because if you do that, guess what? It's technically true. It means nothing to nobody anywhere ever. It will never come up in any observation ever, unless you're a satellite orbiting the Earth 1 million miles in a month or whatever it does, and you have to factor that in. Otherwise, it means nothing to nobody anywhere ever, especially objects falling in a vacuum chamber.
Because he makes the implication to the general populace that it's a perfect vacuum and that's why these things are falling at the same rate. When in reality, the vacuum chamber just isn't tall enough. Because if it was, you would see that they aren't falling at the same rate.
He didn't. And it's a popular science
program.
He
on the ignorance of the masses.
It's a popular science program teaching people the principles of what they're doing there. Not the details, but the principles. And that's the important thing to fucking get across, percentage, in an educational program.
The important thing is to provide full disclosure.
Percent, what would you like them to say? That if we had made this vacuum chamber 100 miles tall, there might have been a 1/10 of an inch difference in the speed of fall with the feather and bowling ball. Is that what you want him to say?
No, I'd rather him say, number one, we don't have a perfect vacuum in which, and number two, this isn't an example of gravity whatsoever, because this is an effect that we have, and the cause of mass attracting mass or bending space-time doesn't this doesn't show it whatsoever. This isn't any sort of representation of that.
Another problem is that you try to use a very minute amount of out-of-context information to try and invalidate the entire concept, and that is inherently false.
What concept?
The only thing that I heard Percent say was really, I wanted Brian Cox to be dishonest in explaining what was going on. That's all I heard Percentage say.
I observed stuff falling towards the floor, and I labeled that observation gravity.
How many particles are in that vacuum chamber anyway, Percent? How do you know how many are in there?
I don't.
So you don't know actually for sure that it's striking particles at all. You're just guessing.
Scott, did you feel Percentage
definitely striking particles? I don't know exactly how many.
You're overdriving the way that he does.
Oh, okay, it's because I have a
maybe not as bad, maybe not, but it just I'm already on edge with him overdriving his fucking mic to be a cunt.
I got you. I'll see what I can do.
I got something to add. The only thing left in a vacuum chamber after you pull a vacuum on it is water atoms. Thank you very much.
Damn.
Yep.
really not
Deniable.
true. But
What if you cover the floor of the vacuum chamber with bicarbonate of soda or silicates?
How does this sound, Curved? Any better at all?
Well, you
That's better.
got quieter, but it was hard for me to hear you a little bit. I got to get you
Man,
adjusted
you don't like
where you're like
popcorn?
everybody else, baby.
You don't like popcorn, Curve?
I think he likes eating it, but I don't think he likes it popping off in his ears.
Oh, this is a perfect time.
And actually, by the way,
in my mouth, I like in my mouth, not in my ear.
Okay, before we get too social, before we start socializing too much, this is a great time to bring back Bella. So, Bella, you read a paper from the Globers looking for that Globe
Chemo,
evidence.
Don't do that, Chemo.
Yeah, I don't know why he's trying to
Chemo,
keep
Chemo,
trying to.
don't do that.
Oh, that was quite good.
We're in the middle of the conversation, man. I know that Dress is doing that weird thing where he says some joke or something. That nobody laughs at. We're in the middle of talking.
I only wanted to say to Percentage, if you get a spit guard for your mic, a screen to go in front of it, it'll cut most of that popping sound out. And
you could
drive your
you
mic
can
harder,
DM
and
that
it'll
kind of
be a clearer
information,
sound.
Dress.
That was it.
Yeah,
Now,
you could DM that.
thanks for letting me
Again, so
even finish
that
that. I
is
was
just
gonna say-
derailing
I
it,
appreciate that,
Dress. Okay, that's what you like to do.
Chemo,
Gatekeep.
don't be a hyper cunt.
What is he doing?
You could DM him
He's
the
talking over
information
you.
about the
We'll talk
microphones.
about
Why are you
Chemo.
stopping the conversation to talk about microphones?
Chemo, you're making even a bigger deal out of it than it would have been.
Right, we're trying to get back to the
We're not-
topic
we're-
and to the
we're-
point, and let's get back to the
We're
finishing the conversation we were having, Chemo, before you do that, okay?
I'm done with the 10
Bella, you back, baby?
Keep an eye on his ring, which sounds a bit weird.
Well, all we were doing was waiting for Bella, weren't we? While she reads that
No,
paper.
Chemo, we weren't. If you were, that's fine. But now you also have to wait for us to finish this other conversation, okay?
You
Which
did.
we are
You
doing right
started
now.
socializing.
Yeah.
You did finish.
No, we didn't. Chemo.
You started
you were never part-
socializing, so that's finished.
Right. No. Like I said, that was somebody bringing in some side bullshit.
Exactly.
Right?
So
And
that
then
means the
making a joke about
conversation
it,
was
but
finished.
that part's done. The side shit's done, Chemo. Okay? Just stop for a second, dude. I'm just saying to Percentage that, like I said before, man, it's just, it doesn't matter how true or technically true or whatever. It means nothing. It means nothing to bring it to an argument as it's some sort of proof of something or identifying someone's wrong about this or about that. It means nothing. You know, it has no effect in anything. So Brian Cox is not lying when he says that. And when he says it, I'm sure he never said in a perfect vacuum like the one we have here, this happens. He's saying in a vacuum, this happens because it's true. And if it were in a perfect vacuum, that wouldn't happen.
Social man, you're talking a lot without saying anything. He says they fall at the same rate. It's the same exact. They don't fall at the same rate.
So then why are you lying and saying that he's lying?
They don't fall at the same rate.
They do.
They don't.
It's a degree of certainty, as I stated in the
it's
chat.
a degree
you
of
have two
scale.
ropes. You can have two
with a limited
ropes.
sample size. They look like they're falling at the same rate, but in reality, they're not
just gotta
falling at the
wait
same
for
rate. Simple as that.
You can have two ropes, and you can measure them to be the same length millimeter.
Why are you arguing with Percent?
I would love to finish.
Well,
what
you're
I'm
going to
saying.
agree
I would
with them. You're
fucking
going to
love
agree with them
finish
at
what
the
I'm
end.
saying.
We all know it.
I'd love to finish it. So what I'm saying, it's a degree of certainty. You can have two ropes with the same lengths down to the millimeter, and they'll be perfectly fine for what you're using them for. You can say that they're the same length. We're going to be using them for this, and this, whatever. But when you go down to the nanometer scale, you're going to find that they're not the same length. You're not lying when you say these are the same length with your eyeballs and you measure them
Yes,
in
you
millimeter. You're not lying,
You're lying
when
if
you
you say
say that.
these are the same length. If you're saying we measured
And
these
this is
to be
how
the same
extreme you
length,
get.
then you're not lying. If you say we measured them to be the same length, that's fine.
brought up a good
If they
point,
said that we measured these to be falling at the same rate, that's fine. But they say they're falling at the same rate. That's not
Yeah,
true.
well, if you have two pieces of thread that are both 10 feet long, 10 feet and 1 inch long, both pieces of thread, are they the same length? The
We
answer is
measured them
yes.
to be the, are they
The answer is
exactly
yes.
10 feet and 1 inch?
The
Then
answer
yes.
is yes. Regardless of if you have a more precise measurement and you find out that they're micrometers.
No, if you find out there's a difference, then they're not the same length.
No. They were the
obviously.
same. They were the same length. Because just like
No, the thing didn't change,
like
bro.
Just like Baldo just said, it depends on your precision. And in that case, your precision doesn't go down to the micrometer. In the case of these fucking vacuum bullshit, the precision is not necessary to say that they're going to move at different rates because it makes no difference in any kind of measurement whatsoever. You're never going to see
Doesn't
them grow
matter. Doesn't matter the applicability. We're not talking about applicability.
To
We're
any
talking about
measurement
whether or not
whatsoever,
they're the
that's where
same.
you're wrong.
Actually,
Right,
yes,
that's
we
where he's
are
wrong.
covering
Because
about
you
the
just look up in the
applicability,
sky and all those
and you're
measurements are
ignoring that, trying to take facts out of context. That it's one atom,
No,
one
you're full of
quarter,
shit.
even one
Kosho, simple
string.
question.
You're full of shit.
All right, hold up, Kosho. Simple
ain't-
question. So you have these strings. They're 10 feet and 1 inch, right? As far as they're 10 feet and 1 inch, and then you later get better technology, and you find out that they're not actually 10 feet and 1 inch. They're 10 feet 1 inch, and point 0.4. 10 feet 1.4 inches, and 10 feet 1.45 inches, or something. Okay.
He can't even reconcile the plan.
Now here's the question: have they always been the same length?
They were the same length according to the measurement that you made to begin with.
According to the measurement, exactly. We measured them to be the same length, but were they actually the same length? Yes or no?
Yeah, the precision of the first measurement you
Not
made.
about,
Yes, they
again, were they the same length? Yes
I just
or no?
answered your question, percentage. If you, ask me again, and then you want the same fucking answer,
It's a simple yes or no. Were they the same length? Yes or no?
I just answered that percentage. So close your fucking mouth and open your ears. Right? They were the same length according to your measurement, the precision of your measurement. Okay? It was not relevant for you to go down to the nanometer. That wasn't relevant to your fucking measurement. Everyone fucking knows.
Were they the same length actually? Yes or no?
I just stated the answer, man. You asked me the same
No,
question.
you had a bitch
it is
answer.
relevant. If they're talking about gravity, that's what holds our solar system together. In which case, all these things aren't going to be this on that level. I mean, get serious.
But Don, have you guys ever heard of measurement uncertainties? Don, they haven't. Don. I have a simple question, Don. If I mean, it's the same argument that Kosha and percentage are making, but
yeah, percentage is correct.
No,
Period.
is
End of
wrong,
story. We all know it. We all know science agrees with him, but you're trying to wiggle out of it.
He's trying to use variances in the accuracy to actually invalidate the entirety of the model, and that is false. Yes, you are doing that.
Baldo was in the middle of saying something. He got interrupted by, but not Baldo. I'm sorry. Chronic. My bad.
Don, what is the value of pi? Tell me.
Right?
No. I want you to tell me what.
I don't. They can't. I don't think they've ever finished answering it.
So then pi doesn't exist. There's no such thing as dividing a circle's circumference by its radius. That just,
if you say so.
It's fake. It just is not a real thing.
No, you use a portion of pi.
Oh, wait. Are you making some progress here? Maybe. What do you mean?
Doesn't
Elaborate.
matter. The point is, we're all agreeing, and you're acting like you disagree with him. That's the
percentage
point.
is not agreeing with what we're saying
the way
at
around.
Yeah, you're trying to strawman me and say that pi doesn't exist because we don't know the exact amount. Come on now.
No. What I'm saying is, if someone asked me what pi is, I would say it's 3.14159, or 3.1459. That's what I would say pi is. Your response to me would say, nope, you're wrong. That's your argument.
If there was an argument as to what pi actually is, and you were to say that it's actually that, then yes, you would be wrong. If you said we measure it, the most accurate measurement we have is 3.1 all to whatever decimal, that's fine. But you don't know actually how much it is.
But
I got a question for you.
What's the ultimate? Yeah.
How
sure.
tall are you, Jared? How tall
Let's
are
go
you?
down that. Go down that road.
As far as I can tell, 6 feet.
That's a lie.
That's a lie, man.
That's a lie.
That's a fucking lie.
Mute the line, cunt.
How's that a lie?
Percentage lying to us all right now.
I personally don't. I absolutely don't understand what the greater point of this entire discussion even
There's
is.
definitely
The
not.
greater point is being intellectually honest.
Yeah, well, you just
which
lied
you guys
to
are
us, man.
flunking at, like absolutely failing.
You were
just
just dishonest.
You were 6 feet.
You were
You
dishonest.
can't know that.
I said, as far as I can tell, right? That means as far as I can measure, as accurately as I can measure, 6 feet.
As far as I can tell,
Is there a problem with that?
I'm
Yeah, you got
7
homework to
foot.
do, man.
You don't answer that question that way. And you didn't answer that question that way.
Can I have a brief point here? You see, intellectually honest is accounting for gravity being observed as acceleration, and as we fully covered before, percentage, cause of weight and the cause of things falling down goes to zero when we create that acceleration. So you're not being honest. That was all.
What?
As far as I could tell, they fell at the same rate. I think Brian Cox agrees.
Yeah, as far as you can measure, that's
As far
fine.
as
As far as
I
we can
can tell.
tell,
As
but they
far
don't
as I could
actually
tell.
fall at the same rate.
What does it matter?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter much in terms of the application.
Clearly, it makes the
It matters in
world
terms
flat,
of being
obviously.
honest.
You can't sit here and tell us that Brian Cox is any less honest than you are, then, because
He definitely is.
all he did was do what you do every time somebody asks you how tall you are. That's all that he did, and that's all that's exactly what you did.
Because of inertia, they can
Don't
never.
do that, Don, because I wasn't talking to you.
My
So if
bad.
I'm talking to somebody else, I'm waiting for a response from them, dude. Don't shout like that.
Sorry.
That's the great thing. That's the amazing thing about science and uncertainty calculations and reporting errors on the measurements you make. Because accounting for the errors, even if your mean value, even if the value that you report, the absolute number, whatever that digit is, even if it's not exactly what the true digit is, the errors allow it to fall in a range that is the true value, that covers the true value.
What the fuck are you guys talking about? You just like talk a lot of bullshit when you don't have an actual point. The point is, if the vacuum chamber was larger, they would have appreciated a difference in rate. Simple as that. You can try to make little hamster excuses as much as you want, but that's the fact, because it wasn't a perfect vacuum, and it wasn't even close to a super super low pressure environment where there's hardly any molecules. There would have been drag, and you would see it eventually.
You just said the whole point of your argument is about honesty and being honest in reporting.
Yeah. So to say they're falling at the same rate is dishonest.
I just rebutted the best way of being honest in a science experiment is reporting your results with uncertainty, with associated uncertainty. How did that not click?
Did they do that in that?
Who knows? I haven't researched it enough. Do you know?
They just fall at the same rate.
Do you know it wasn't a perfect vacuum though? Do you know any of the specifics of the setup?
Of course I know it's not a perfect vacuum.
No, but exactly how much, what level of vacuum was it?
Doesn't matter.
Exactly how far did they fall? How many meters?
It doesn't matter. They claim that's at the same rate. They're not.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Exactly. That's my point.
30 meters, a feather in a bowling ball.
These fucking idiots. Science. We love science, and then they're trying to argue the drag equation. Are you kidding me?
No.
I say percent. What information do you have that they didn't fall at the same rate?
You have to be honest with us or yourself.
Because we have no perfect vacuums. It wasn't a perfect vacuum. Of course, it didn't fall at the same rate.
Doesn't mean anything.
No, that affects it.
I've shown that, man.
Because it's a settled science in terms of drag equations, bro. We know how drag affects things. We know friction affects things.
Apply at that level of vacuum.
What was that?
How do you know that the drag equations apply at that level of vacuum?
They apply at any pressure.
How do you know?
No, they don't. You have laminar versus turbulent flow versus rarefied gases. It's completely different domains.
Yeah, there definitely are different effects, but percentage, the important part is how do you know?
Because it's been measured. It's been experimented on.
Where?
The drag equation, the drag coefficients and stuff, this is stuff that has been
How does that apply in that level of vacuum? How does it apply in that level of vacuum?
It applies. Maybe negligibly.
How do you know that applies?
Maybe it's negligible in that height of a vacuum, but it still applies.
You don't know that.
The scale, it'll apply more. I do know
no idea if that's true. You're just making that up.
You see, even if that
sad.
You don't know that. You're saying that they don't know it's the same, but you don't know that it's not the same. You have no additional information from what they have.
Equation then? Yo, are you denying the drag equation?
Do you have some additional information that they do not have?
Are you denying the drag
it was
equation?
the same?
Quit beating around the bush and make
I'm
it.
saying that you don't know that the drag equations apply. You have no idea if they apply.
Of course they do. They apply to everything. Now, are you denying that?
Have you done drag measurements in a vacuum chamber?
Hold up, I'm making the claim.
Have you done drag measurements in a vacuum chamber?
I'm making the claim that the drag equation, that drag applied in that vacuum chamber. Are you denying that?
And you're saying it did, but you don't know that it did.
I'm saying that that did. That's my claim. Okay. The burden of proof is on me for that claim. Are you denying it? Though?
Okay, then fucking prove it.
Are you denying it though?
No, I'm just saying you haven't
proved it.
proved
Well, if you're not denying it, if there's no contention, then I don't have to substantiate it, right?
I'm saying you haven't proved it, so you're making a baseless claim. You have
you
no
either
information
agree with
supporting
me
your
or you
claim.
disagree with
Percentage.
me. If you disagree with
You
me,
gotta do
I'll
things- you gotta back off
substantiate
your
it.
mic
If
again,
you
man.
agree with me, it's moot.
You are
You gotta back
overstepping
off
the
Do you
shit out of
agree
your
or
mic.
disagree? Yes or no?
Percentage. You have to back off your mic again.
Come on, guys, let them argue
here,
it out.
Taylor.
Stop interrupting them.
Taylor.
Let them discuss
Taylor,
it.
Taylor, I'll
every
take
time
it.
he does that.
Go ahead.
I'll take it real quick, Taylor. I'll disagree. I'll disagree with him. Okay, now you have to prove it.
All right, so you're actually intellectually honestly disagreeing with the drag equation.
Yes,
with drag
I
being
fully
a thing.
disagree. Now prove it.
All right. So if I actually show to you that drag actually happened in that vacuum chamber, you're gonna what? You're gonna concede and you're gonna be honest about your concession and say.
I'll consider what you show.
See, I don't even think I'm gonna bother because you're not. I
Alright.
feel like you're not being intellectually honest.
Then don't waste our fucking time, Percentage.
I'm not.
Don't waste our time then.
Anyone that's listening to him be like, "Oh, I'll take it for a spin." You're playing devil's advocate. You're being intellectually dishonest. It's a wild goose chase that I'm not gonna go through.
That's fine, Percentage, because all I'm going to do now, before I show you any piece of evidence, before I show it to you, I'm going to say, if you're not going to accept it, I'm not going to bother showing it to you.
So curious.
That's not the same thing.
Setting a standard.
You can tell here,
Curious
anyone
question.
that was listening to him saying, "I'll take it for a spin," is
Curious question.
showing that he's going to be
Curious
intellectually
question
dishonest
here.
by even taking the stance.
Curious
Why
question.
did you stop
If he's not
Taylor?
genuinely
Curious
and honestly taking the
question
stance,
here.
then it doesn't matter.
Curious
do we-
question. If you're not going to be pursuing these wild goose chases, does that mean that you'll be quiet from now on?
If people are making intellectually dishonest stances, then yeah, I won't like have a dialectic with them. There's no point.
If you're honest with yourself, you can see that
You can't have
you're
like
the one being
meaningful
intellectually
intellectual
dishonest.
dialogue with people that are intellectually dishonest.
Exactly.
So we can quote you on that right there, what you just stated.
Try and remember you're pretending that the Earth is flat. Try and remember that.
The Earth
Lie
is
about your
observably
height
flat in
every
motion,
day.
and there's never been any empirical evidence otherwise.
That's a lie.
You don't accept our evidences, so we're not going to provide any more to you. We're just going to
You don't
ignore
have
you
any
now.
empirical
the same way
evidence.
that you
I've been
did
looking,
on the request
Yeah,
to you.
no way that's an intellectually honest position. That there's no empirical evidence. That's not intellectually honest.
Right. So I'm going to not
no
interrupt you
definitive
anymore.
empirical
I'm
evidence
just
of
going
the
to turn you down
Zero.
and not engage.
If you want to steal man Percentage here, because he's right. If we're talking pure philosophy, then we can't get around the problem of hard solipsism. So at the end of the day, everything could be an illusion, and therefore nothing is ever accurate. Nothing completely.
That's not a steal, man, you asshole.
So yeah, I think that's fair.
He isn't making an argument about hard solipsism,
Yeah,
is
no
he?
shit.
But Dross,
I don't know
how
why
do
you don't
you
have to agree
know
with
that?
There's no reason to agree with him. There's actually nothing. There's no point at all to agree with him about this. He's doing this for no reason. That's the part that sucks. If you talk about
Same thing about you guys, pushing a narrative that you have no evidence for.
You're talking about
What are you guys doing
intellectual
it for?
dishonesty. You're talking about intellectual dishonesty, and you're the one being intellectually dishonest, man.
You say so.
When someone gave you the example of asking your height, and you said 6 feet, and you said that wasn't dishonest, but saying that somebody's dishonest for saying that this happens in a vacuum, but not describing, what happens at the minuscule. If you had minuscule measurements.
Listen, I knew exactly what you guys were trying to get at when you asked my height. That's why I said, as far as I can tell, 6
That's why
feet.
your position is
As
intellectually
far as I can tell.
Yeah.
You
but
never
that's
say
not the,
that.
That's not the way you answer that question. When people ask you,
Yeah, because normally I'd be talking to, for a different purpose, and they wouldn't have a
because it's
an
implied.
ulterior motive. I know you're
Because
ulterior
it's implied.
motive. So I have to be more careful with you snakes.
In this situation, you're the snake. You're the one with the ulterior motive. You're doing this to Brian Cox.
Yeah, the purpose.
Right? If he knew that you were there and he knew that's what you were going to do, he would have answered it differently.
Yeah, the purpose of Brian Cox's argument was not to impart the absolute perfection of the vacuum, nor the perfection of the velocity difference. It wasn't set up to do that. It wasn't set up to test that.
Are you trying to get away from the gravity? Like, you know what I mean? Is that why they're so defensive? Because they're scared about the gravity argument? Like, what is this?
Yes, Don, but no one's scared.
It's scared of the gravity.
Whenever they're wrong about something, they switch to something else.
Well, I believe stuff like this does prove the gravity law, but I don't know why there's not an agreement here. Like, he's right on a minuscule level. I don't get why can't you grant him his minuscule difference? Let's see where we go.
Don, that's not even the subject of the conversation. He's calling Brian Cox a liar for saying that these objects are falling at the same rate in a vacuum.
Okay.
And he's saying that because there's molecules in that vacuum, And he thinks because those molecules are actually falling at different rates, even though you can't measure the difference.
It's a gimmicky thing. They're trying to make gravity look like amazing and stuff like that. And when they say gravity, they give it like this implication that it's the gravity understanding that we have, which is like the bending of time, space, or mass attracting mass, or whatever. When it's all bullshit. In reality, all it is things falling down due to their density. Simple as that. In the medium that they're in.
Well, see, there has to be a bigger law on top of it. In my perspective, still percentage, like that can be the ordering mechanism is the density, but there still has to be this universal law of up or down or whatever. But either way, why did they could have done demos like, you know, dropping like flat frisbees or things with what would have a higher drag to more exaggerate the missing drag.
The feathers.
Yeah, feathers are
probably
pretty.
Feathers are pretty. They're
I think
pretty.
a feather is gonna beat a frisbee.
I don't know if you're gonna have a bigger difference between a bowling ball and
feathers and the word drag go together in so many different ways.
I get it. They're still.
It really slows down.
You could drop talcum powder if you want. It's still going to fall at the same rate.
That would be a cool one. I still think a continuous sheet would be a different exaggeration. I know feathers have high attributes.
Maybe. No one's had any obligation to try to agree with percentage, right? Like you don't have to find a reason that there's an agreement there. So there's no need to do that. Like I said, it's true what he's saying, but it has no relevance in reality. So there's no point bringing it up.
It's the fact he's not the arbiter of what constitutes evidence.
Yes, I fucking am.
To yourself, you are.
Oh, well, there
to
you
me,
go.
You're not.
Grandiose. He's being grandiose today, Just.
So
just a pedantic
I said that with a smile on my face.
Curious question: if you're the arbiter of what constitutes evidence, or whatever you said, then everybody in the world has to bring all their stuff to you.
Dude, I said it with a smile. I was being cheeky.
He was being sarcastic. Percentage actually does get sarcasm. It's rare, but some Americans have developed the gene.
Well, he's not wrong. I mean, if you guys think you're conform, if you think you're doing science, if you want to know if it's actual science, you're going to have to present it to the people who actually manipulate the independent variables. So, for it to fall into the line of science and the scientific method, yeah, because you guys, everyone that
do you even pay attention to what you say?
Let's think about this. Every single one of you ball earthers that you know will follow your method, not the scientific method. So that means if we multiply that, the friends they know and the friends, so that all of them are following this pseudoscience method. That's what we're bringing to you. You're supposed to tell your friends, hey, you need to follow this method, manipulate your variables, you get your results.
How many other false assumptions and straw mans you can throw in there, Chemo?
No, I'm saying, you're saying, is everybody else wrong? Do people bring it to us? Well, yes, because how else are you going to know with knowledge and not a belief? Right now you have a belief. You believe it, you trust in someone else, you think that they've got it.
Incorrect. We have measurements and facts. Not everything is stipulated as
that's
belief
what
and
percent is
required
saying.
upon
There's
belief.
nothing definitive, and we have to trust. If we were to go back to the globe right now, because you guys have peer pressured us all,
Well, that'd be incorrect to say that there's nothing definitive, such as that there's never a perfect vacuum.
Let's say this was school, and like, you know, it's the first year, and like obviously we're not going to make it through the next years unless we agree. So if we agreed, it would be simply because of peer pressure, not because we could prove the globe.
What? I can make it through the first year without agreeing with you. That's
No. I'm saying if this was a school, if this was a class, and we were like, oh, it's flat, you were like, no, it's a ball. And we were like asking what you're asking you now. You were like, you just got to trust the teacher. Just trust what they're telling us because they know more.
No, you don't have to always trust. That is a actual incorrect thing that everything is based upon trust. You can have measurements and facts and actually validate it through that.
That's what percent is asking for, the definitive measurements. And we're hearing, you know, we need to just trust them. Trust these people.
Did you listen to that entire exchange? Like any of it? Did you listen to any of it, Chemo?
What, with who?
Precisely.
With who? What do you mean with who?
So you didn't listen to any of it, right?
What, with me and Cowbells?
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, good. So look,
There
the
you go.
idea
Welcome,
is that
welcome to intellectual dishonesty. You've just seen it live in action, people.
yeah. So look, what we're looking for again is you're saying we should trust.
You're not looking for anything, mate. Come on.
If we become,
yeah, you need to be a little bit more explanative about what this we is, because that
well,
was
let's say
not what
me
the
and percent were
conversation
like,
was
okay,
about.
guys, the Earth's the globe, but we still wouldn't be able to prove it. We would just have to believe what you're telling us. That's it.
No, that is not it.
What else can we do? How can we prove to somebody else that we're on a board?
That's a very good question. Why don't you go ahead and answer that? Because other people have, and you can catch up with the rest of the class.
Yeah, but I couldn't prove to you it's a board. How would I do that? How would
That's
anyone...
an incorrect thing.
How would someone else prove to you it's a board? What would they do?
Oh, it's not about me.
I thought you guys were talking about measurements.
Cowbells. I'm asking.
Well, I just explained that, what, like 30, 40 seconds ago?
You just said measurements, measurements, measurements. That's all you're saying. But the curvature has never been measured. We know this.
That's incorrect to say that.
No, again, because even if, like, you think you're making those types of measurements, we'd have to explain how the water... There's just so many things. How the water stays on the ball and things like that. And your measurements are just giving you an illusion.
And there is explanations for that.
Again...
Heck, I'll even cite the actual attempt to disprove
Anyway, well, I'm not trying to step on their
pouring water on a basketball
on his toes here. You can carry on. I was just
Have you ever
simply
seen
saying...
that video?
I was simply saying that's... If everyone came a globe earther now, the flat earthers, I mean, we would just be trusting you, just believing you, just giving our mind.
No,
we would give our mind and soul and all this to you. Just take it here. Put some strings on my hands and on my feet and on my head, and just tell me whatever you need to tell me. That's what it
Why
would be.
are you making all these draconian requirements?
But that's what.
He's not being critical.
I would
That's
have
the
to
thing.
repeat
He's
what
not
you
being
say
critical.
to someone. Measurements. We've got measurements. They've measured it.
I got a question.
We tell you all the time.
He's trying to say percent is what he's trying to do.
I'm saying to
curious what
cowbell.
percentage. I'm curious percentage.
Yeah, but I want percent to
With
come back
the
in there because I'm not trying to
situation-
take over. Yeah, so carry on. Sorry.
Save percent.
Okay.
Save
With the situation of the feathers of the bowling balls, we agree that there could be some fraction of drag and friction in there. If I made it a deeper vacuum, what effect would that have? Would that make the feathers slow down more? Would it make the difference greater? I'm not sure what you're trying to get at. It seems like as it gets thinner and thinner, more rarefied, the speed of them comes closer and closer together. Can we not deduce at that point that they'll be exactly the same in the absence of air?
Yeah, I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I personally think that it would be the same in the absence of all if it was a perfect vacuum.
And what's the point?
Wow.
The point
Welcome
is
to the
how,
How
they,
about this? How about this? How about
how
this?
they prey on the
How about
ignorance of
this?
people.
Out of the respect that everybody in the room,
attractive law.
why we don't have, just out of pure generosity, will you just not fucking bring that up again?
Well,
I won't, as long as you guys say that, don't say that they fall at the same rate.
I have
They
something
don't.
to say about. I have something to say about this. You already agreed they do if we pull it out. You don't actually know how much air is in there, so you have no idea what you're really talking about. You're guessing. And more importantly, though, every single one of us knows what the exact deal is. You know the deal. We know the deal. So to what extent do you imagine that anyone's been fooled? They weren't lying. They made it clear. You may have had to have some knowledge to apply to what they're saying, but everyone does have that knowledge, and we're able to figure out exactly what they mean.
Really? So you think no one in this world knows that we don't have a perfect vacuum?
Correct.
Did you poll everyone to see if they knew that if there was a perfect vacuum or not?
Did you count the particles to know whether or not it was a perfect vacuum?
Actually, I did. I don't know exactly how many particles there are, but I have
you don't know.
researched depending on the different,
If you didn't
levels
count
of
the particles
pressure,
in that
what
particular chamber,
the amount of particles are. And I remember it was
Fine,
like something
that's fine.
thousands.
that's fine. If you didn't count the particles in that chamber, then you don't know. Just like
No,
I
it doesn't
didn't-
matter
just
though
like I-
because we know it's not a perfect vacuum.
Just like I
And we
didn't
know-
poll everybody in the world, but I do know from knowing people that everyone knows that there's not a perfect vacuum there.
It's the same way as we know.
It's the
that-
same argument as the other dude just
that
made.
two objects
No,
will
not.
fall at the same rate. We know that. In the same way as we know that in an imperfect vacuum there are going to be molecules in it. We might not know exactly how many, but we know they're going to be there. These are inductive points that we make, and science is induction. So there is nothing false in what he's saying.
Forget that everything that has ever been measured in any way whatsoever in terms of time, it's all not been perfect. So when he says these fall at the same rate, that's a valid statement to the extent that anything can ever do anything at the same. Because
They don't fall at the same rate. We
They do
measure
fall
them
at the
to
same
fall
rate.
at the same rate
He did measure
due to
them.
the
He
limited
measured
sample
them, and he got the
size.
same answer, didn't he?
Because of a limited sample size.
No, not for its little sample size, because of a precision issue. But he got the same answer, didn't he?
No,
That
because
means
precision issue is ratio. It's like relative to
fell at the same
the
rate.
amount of distance. So
they fell at the same rate, though, didn't they?
There's a very
No, they
simple way.
didn't.
There's a very simple.
They did. Look at the two
Percentage.
numbers that he got. Hold on, Josh. He
Go
looked
on.
at the two numbers that he got. He got two numbers that were exactly the same. That
Oh
means
man!
they
At
fall
the,
at the
at the
same rate.
risk of having this entire argument over again, see, you're one of those intellectually dishonest people that can't even say that they're falling at different rates.
They're falling at the exact same
You
rate.
know it's not a
You measured
perfect
them.
vacuum. You know they're falling at different rates, but you're
No,
still
you
too
don't know
intellectually
that.
dishonest to
You
just
don't
say
know
it, 'cause
that,
it kills
Prasad.
you inside.
You don't know that. You're
Pathetic.
lying. You are lying. You're pathetic because you're lying. They measured it to fall at the same rate. That's the exact same rate. Now, if they have a higher precision, maybe we discover that they fell at different rates. I don't know. They didn't do it at a high
Okay,
precision. They did
okay,
it at a
Scott, you're
precision.
right. The drag equation
That's
is bullshit. Science
That's right.
is wrong.
I am
You're
right. The drag equation doesn't come into play there, does it?
Oh, it doesn't now.
Well, 'cause how do you know how much particles in there?
Doesn't matter.
There's
Do you
no
believe
impact.
formulas?
Yeah, I do believe formulas when it talks about the effect of something that we can observe and test.
So then you know that rate is something that requires precision. At any given precision, you're either at the same rate or you're not. At the precision
No,
we measure that,
you're
yes,
you're
you are.
confusing. Listen, you're confusing theoretical with actual.
No, I'm confusing. I'm not confusing anything. I'm conflating precision with accuracy.
Welcome data.
So look, if you go precise enough, nothing is at the same rate. So it depends upon your precision. That's a given.
Again, it's not about applicability. It's not about the like actual testing. It's about the theoretical fact
It is
of
the
the
actual
matter.
testing. They check.
If
this
you're
to the whole
disputing the
rate.
drag equation, if you're disputing the theory, then that's a you problem, bro. You're
No,
against science.
I'm telling
in
you
that
that it's
case.
very
You're
clear and very
anti-science.
obvious. It's very simple, percent. They fell at the same rate given the precision they measured with. Done deal.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. To say that they measured him at the same rate is fine.
That's the same rate.
Hang on, Scott. Did he just negate applied science?
He thinks that because things have precision, you can't ever say anything is the same. You can't ever measure anything. You can't ever test anything. Everything has to
That's
be
why we have
caveated. Everything is
tolerances.
because it has precision.
I wanted to ask percentage. What to him constitutes an absolute measurement? Can you give me an example of one?
What do you mean an absolute measurement?
Well, that's what you're after, isn't it?
No. When did I say that?
When you
the whole time.
Yeah.
No, I never once said that. I said we'll
No,
measure
but
it
it
depending on
was-
our
that was-
accuracy and limit the sample size and stuff. I said theoretically we know that they're actually going at a different speed.
We don't know that.
We do know that. Theoretically, we know that because of the drag
How can you
equation.
know
We
that
know it's not a
how
perfect
much air is in
vacuum.
there. You don't know how that's a perfect vacuum or not.
It doesn't matter. As long as there's some, it's not going to be falling at the same rate.
How can you know something theoretically, dude?
Man,
Curious
Scott,
question.
you're too dishonest for me, man. Scott, you're too dishonest for me.
I think
This
we
is the
should
truth.
change the conversation.
You are making
I
the
don't know
kind
if
of
anyone else
assumptions
feels
that you
that way.
complain about right now. You're doing
I feel
all
that
the
way.
things that you complain about right now. You're assuming that there's air in there. You're assuming you know how much. You're assuming that would have.
Are you disputing that there's air in there?
I don't know. Can you?
You don't
prove
know
the
if there's air in there.
Can you show me substantive proof? Definitive and
So
substantive
you're saying
proof.
that it's a perfect vacuum.
I'm asking you for definitive and
Make a
substantive proof.
stance,
Your
Scott. Don't be
criteria.
a-
Your
don't be
criteria.
a-
percent.
oh, man, you're
I'm
such a
using your
cuck. Forget it,
criteria.
forget
Is
it.
that
Yeah,
not
I don't
your
wanna talk to you.
criteria? Is
I
that
don't
not
wanna
the
talk to you
criteria
anymore,
you've
man.
been
It's cool.
using for your
Say that.
substantive and definitive
Let's
proof?
try this.
Such a hypocrite. Unbelievable.
There's a super chat.
Let's try this as a
There's a super
claim.
chat.
Oh, we got a super chat.
You're stance, man. How dare you say that?
Again, we're raking in the money for you. Look, another super chat for you. Again, when we're hot like this, bringing the truth to the people, to the masses. They're paying, they're listening, they're tuning in.
Good
You
job,
want to read out the
Kimo.
super chat, Kosho? Go for it.
Yeah,
No,
somebody.
you go ahead,
somebody
Kimo. Go
kicking-
ahead, Kimo.
I'm driving a
this-
train at the moment, so
Props
if
to
you
you,
wouldn't
Kimo.
mind, I'd be very
I have a
grateful.
question.
Hang
If I
on,
make the
hang on,
claim-
hang on. We're doing a super
I
chat.
respect the super chat.
Oh, apologies.
Go for it,
Go ahead,
Kosho,
Kimo,
because
you're
you
good,
did
man.
bring it to our attention.
Oh, sure, okay. This is from Koti Cho. He says, shout out to Debate Flat Earth and more. Percentage, please be better than this. All right.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Ooh,
again,
that's a good one.
it brings the super chats whether they disagree or agree, and that's what we want. So let's continue. Where were we?
I think about.
I had a question. If I make the claim that the drag on both of those objects was the same, and therefore the rate was the same that they were falling, how would you disprove that?
It's not true because of the difference in surface tension, surface area, which is a major part of the drag equation.
Surface tension is involved in drag, so.
Surface area, I said.
I know.
So it's not true to say that the effective drag upon each object was such that they negated and they did fall at the same rate.
Yeah, that's
disprovable. How is that disprovable?
It's easily disprovable. You just have to introduce more air into the vacuum. They could be in the exact same vacuum again, or same medium. Introduce more air, and see the effect.
More air will make a greater delta in speed. We know that.
So
Yeah,
it's going
but they still
outside of the actual context of the conditions to try and disprove it.
No, it's not. The context
Yes,
is that these things are
he wants you
falling
to change
in a
the environment to prove it.
No, you guys, you don't understand the drag equation. It's all about the density of the medium.
And the density of the medium in the vacuum is what?
The amount of air in it.
Right, you add more air, you get more drag.
When you're actually going down to try and claim that the precision level of one actual particle is hitting one and not the other.
Friction, so to speak.
So I can actually make a positive claim that the actual drag on each object was effectively the same, thereby not actually giving a difference of the falling rate.
And you're wrong, because there's something called the drag to weight ratio. So the more mass, the more dense.
No, see, you're
object is
wrong
gonna have
because you're
more-
trying to actually interject.
Oh,
that
yeah,
I'm
I'm talking about
saying
science.
the
Oh, Lord, have
drag
mercy.
is the same on each one instead of being proportional, so it actually negates its effect. So please go ahead and disprove that.
Dude, you're wrong. You need to learn the drag equation. It's simple as
Percentage.
that.
I am actually interested in the calculations that you have. I'm actually interested in those.
What calculations?
For you to come to this conclusion, I'm actually interested in the calculation that you made using the drag equation.
It's been a while since I did make a calculation regarding it. Why?
Oh my god.
All right. Well, when you do it, or when you
Why are you
find
disputing
it,
the drag equation?
I'm
disputing your
interested in
ability
your
to use it.
calculations that you made, and I would like to.
Are you
compare them
disputing
to
the
mine.
drag equation?
Your ability.
I would like
use
to
it.
compare them to mine percentage.
I didn't make any calculation for this.
Because you're
Okay.
Then how do you know to a degree of certainty?
Because the drag equation has been tested. I have faith that the drag equation has been tested, not by me.
Well, as long as we believe things have been tested, we're all right. Then.
Yeah, it's something that's verifiable.
Have you,
But you don't
Unlike
know any of the
anything-
assumptions that
unlike
go into the
any of
drag
the
equation.
claims
How
of
do you
the
know?
Earth
How do
model.
you know it's verifiable?
you have subsets
How do you know it's verifiable? Have you
Because that's how they
verified
came with
it?
the coefficients and stuff. They tested them.
But how do you know that? How do you know it's verified? You just believe them for that then?
Yeah, you just
Do
gonna
I
trust them
believe
on
that's
that.
verifiable? No, because the method is actually a verifiable one,
Have you
Jem.
verified it?
They drop the things and they
Do you
measure
know
it.
that?
We can measure stuff.
Well,
I've
they
measured stuff
told you.
before.
They told you they've got a method that's verifiable. But how do you know that? it is?
Argumentum ad absurdum.
Oh, is it? Is
No,
that
it's
true?
not. This is your argument.
You're calling your own argument absurd now, mate.
No, I'm
Yeah.
calling you guys saying that we don't know that we could test the drag of things
Did you do
is
it? If you
absurd.
didn't do it, then by your own criteria, then you don't.
Yes, I've tested drag, not in this
No,
specific
show us
environment.
proof of it.
There you go. There's the calculations.
Wait, if you
Right.
haven't done it in
There's-
that specific environment, how can you actually try and forward that it actually applies?
Are you guys saying that's a perfect medium?
We're saying that you don't have by your own criteria proof.
I do have my own criteria proof. I've observed and tested drag in air, which is what that is.
Not your location. That's your criteria. We're using your criteria, percent.
Would you
You
say
were
this
saying
is
drag in a vacuum.
Did you say this was a litmus test percentage on who can be honest or not?
Probably is, and we
And
find
he
out
failed, Jeremy.
cannot be.
No, this is a litmus test for you guys.
Set of criteria, but then when he
You
gets
guys,
stuck in
to
a
see if you
corner,
guys can be
when he's
honest.
stuck in a corner, he suddenly doesn't want to use that criteria anymore. Suddenly in the corner, he thinks that criteria is unfair and absurd and dishonest, like we've been saying for a year.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the phrase you guys just need to stop saying things fall at the same rate in a vacuum.
Did you just said the problem here?
Yeah,
Jeremy,
we
is
pulled a
the
dick
criteria
out of
is being used against him, and he calls it unfair and absurd and dishonest.
What happened?
Own
I'm talking
criteria
over you. What you say?
against him, and he calls it absurd, dishonest, and unfair. His own criteria. So what he doesn't like right now is the fact that the same thing he's been doing for a year. So if you think what we're doing is dishonest, you're calling him dishonest.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you guys drop shit 30 feet in a vacuum, that's like me measuring 30 feet of water and saying it's flat. Boom. There you go.
Okay.
And you're telling us over longer distance, different things will happen. We're telling you over longer distance, different things will happen. You
Could
ain't
be.
trying to have it, though.
No, I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that. Not per se. We're asking for proof of it. He doesn't have that.
I think the entire time we've been agreeing to that, where we said it depends on the scale of your measurement. And if your measurements are small, you can make particular conclusions that are true at that scale. That's exactly what we're talking about, Jeremy. No one's disputing that.
Again, you're coming to false conclusions.
And whenever you make a statement about something, you make it give it a precision. And
Yeah, you're
so
coming
give
to
it
false conclusions, though, with it, with your. This is
Jeremy,
why.
So we didn't come to false conclusion. What we're saying is true given the precision. So the precision matters is what part of it.
Yeah, but you know, over a longer distance, you wouldn't. You're even with how precise you are, it wouldn't fall at the same rate.
Probably not, but he doesn't have proof of this. He could probably make it.
Now they wouldn't fall at the same rate, but the deeper the vacuum, the closer they'll get together.
Okay, hold on. Jeremy, I'm gonna just tell you real quick the question that was asked to percentage. I'm gonna ask you the same question. How tall are you? Just very quickly. Just 5'11", 5'10". Whatever the answer is. What is it? All right, don't answer. Let's say it's 6 foot. What percentage answer? Okay, that's not a wrong answer. Okay, even though if you were use more precision, you would see that it's not exactly 6 feet because it's like micrometers above 6 feet or whatever the case is. Okay, so whenever you're saying that things fall at the same rate in a vacuum, and they're falling at the same rate by any measurable means whatsoever, and they're not being slowed down by anything perceivable by anyone, you have to understand that doesn't, saying otherwise mean it doesn't provide anything to anybody.
Hey, just because you want to, just like Jeremy, nobody believes it. Let's go ahead and for once and for all, we're going to just go ahead and destroy the globe Earth right here and now. You want to do it?
Right, David.
Scott Veets is here. We'll just go ahead and just put this whole thing to rest. We're just going to prove that the Earth is flat and not round. How about we do that? And we can do it in less than 5 minutes. Are we all
Can
in?
we do it in less than 30 seconds?
How about no? Well, this is back and forth.
I feel like this is worth 5 minutes.
5 minutes is pretty good. Okay, so the number one proof that the Earth is round is geodetic surveying. Do we all agree with that?
That's what they say.
Let's go ahead and
yeah.
say yes.
That's what they say. Yeah.
No, I don't agree with
Let's
that.
just say yes for the sake of time. Yeah.
All right. So who disagrees that geodetic survey is not the number one proof?
Just say yes.
Are you talking to flat earthers? Because I don't agree with that at all.
I disagree, but go ahead, keep going on the path that you're going. That's fine.
So we agree that on a geodetic survey, you could triangulate any 3 cities, but if you add a fourth, then it won't add up to a sphere. Do we all agree with that?
Go ahead.
Do we all agree?
It's not okay to go ahead on
If you live on a sphere, you can triangulate any 3 cities, but if you add a fourth, it won't add up, right?
If I was a glober, I wouldn't admit to that.
You can have measurements to between 3 cities, and it would be greater than a 180-degree triangle.
Well, what are you gonna call it? It's not a triangle. What's the real word for it?
It'll be a triangle on in spherical geometry, but it's still a triangle of 3 sides.
We all know
180 degrees.
Yeah, we all know
20 hours between
spherical geometry.
It's called a non-Euclidean triangle.
I'll be back. I can't talk right now. Bye.
Okay. Why is he saying that with 4 though is any different? I don't understand.
Someone was here yesterday. Someone was here yesterday talking about that. I don't remember the exact point because you only need 3 cities to show it.
Right.
No, because if you got 4 things, then 4 things has to be 4 90s. 4 90s is 360. You can't have greater than 360. Therefore, you're wrong.
Same thing with triangles. You have to be, 3 triangles, 3 angles, 180. If you have more than 180, you're wrong. The difference really between 3 and 4.
You need 4 because you don't want to measure angles.
So the argument is because triangles can have more than 180 degrees, other shapes should have more than 180 degrees. Or whatever their normal degree is.
No, they're running all 4 angles up together to make 360.
It's a patchwork argument against the fact that somebody pointed out that, look, triangles are defined in such a way they can have more than 180.
And if you made a circle, the radius would be wrong. On a sphere, a circle.
It sounds like it's confusing Euclidean triangles with non-Euclidean triangles.
No, but on a sphere, wouldn't a 4-sided object have 90-degree angles?
No.
Nope, yeah, more than 360.
Well, this is why I don't like to think about this shit.
Well, yes, you can make an object on a sphere that has angles that are more than 90 degrees each, a 4-sided object.
Almost always, yeah. The only instances where triangles and squares have not 180 degrees and 360 degrees is when it's too small to perceive the actual angle.
Why didn't you just say in 2-dimensional?
Because you said on a sphere.
All right.
Why didn't you just say in 2-dimensional? You've got 360 or 180. That's it. Kosher. You explained it
Are
too
you
hard.
done Ozing?
Go ahead, curved.
Are you done Ozing, Davros?
Yeah, for you.
All right, thanks. Real quick. I believe the point of the 4 cities is basically, especially if you lay them out in roughly a square fashion, you can have the distances, from A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to A that they are, and that would work on flat or sphere. Now, draw a diagonal from A to C and B to D. That's not going to work out. The farther away those 4 cities are, the greater that difference is going to show. If I'm wrong, crucify me. I don't care.
So eloquent there, curved.
I think you probably would care. I don't think you'd like being crucified very much at all.
It's an e-crucifixion.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not so bad.
Well, I heard what Jesus said when he was being crucified was more like, fuck, it hurts, rather than be still by
You
children.
didn't know any English back then, dude.
So,
How do
Jem,
you know?
hold on, Davros, before you go off into your...
Jesus is God. He knows all languages.
So we agree that the Earth is a sphere because you can triangulate any 3 cities on the globe, right?
Sure.
Do we agree with that?
Yes, we all agreed. We were talking about where you were going. We all agreed. Just continue.
And with this triangulation, you cannot add a 4th city, correct?
What?
If you add a 4th city, you can't triangulate it. It won't be a good. It won't make
a 4-sided triangle.
Exactly. Right. So there's no.
That's true. It won't be a triangle. What's your point?
Right. So
you'd have 2 triangles.
Fine, but what's your point, though?
North Korea is 4.
How many triangles does it take to make a circle?
If you've got, listen to me. You can triangulate 3 cities and they'll accurately project exactly where they are on your globe Earth model, right?
Yeah.
But if you try to triangulate the 4th, you can't triangulate it. But in all reality, on the ground, you could you could square out any 4 cities, any 10 cities, any 50 cities, and they'll all measure out in square miles, correct?
Yep. Thank you, David.
That makes
Have a nice
sense.
day.
What else you got?
Okay. What are you talking about? It doesn't make sense.
I said that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I'm writing it down. I'm just waiting for the next line.
So your city, so your Earth is not a sphere because you cannot triangulate all the cities.
Yeah, you can.
I agree with him.
Do you don't understand that? If you can't triangulate the four cities,
let me explain it to you, okay? You've got 4 cities, okay? A, B, C, and D. You make a triangle with A, B, and C, and then you make another triangle with B, C, and D. Therefore, you have triangulated all 4 cities. Thank you very much.
David, this may be of interest to you. Another fun fact here is that you can't really dribble a birthday cake down the basketball court.
Yeah, you can.
And hey, think about this one. GPS actually trilaterates with 8 positions or more.
Hey, cheeky ass.
But it trilaterates.
As in trilateral commission.
Mike, wasn't that ground positioning system though?
Yes, that's what they say.
Hang on, sorry. Sorry, Brian wants everyone.
Right then,
Brian wants everyone to join Emma's server with Bev so he can buy more subs. Okay?
Is that okay with you, balloon scientist?
Balloon scientist.
That was good.
I like that. That was good.
What'd you say, blue scientist?
Okay, so what is this globe? You feeling like globe success here because you were able to respond to David, and now you're celebrating somewhat. We need to remind you guys that you think the Earth is spinning, nothing is holding it up, just suspended in a vacuum. You think the planets are. We have to remind you of these things while you're celebrating whatever you think you've done with David here.
Suspending. Suspending is not correct.
Well, it's not holding on anything. It's just in the vacuum.
It's falling. Yeah, it's falling towards something.
Hey, Chemo, I need you to follow my lead here now. This is the #1 globe Earth killer that I'm talking to you about.
I repeated it. I thought I'd done well.
In geodetic surveying, you can only calculate 3 cities at a time. If you add a 4th, they will not triangulate.
Jim just did that.
No, he's using 2 different triangles. So? If you take A, B, and C and then try to take it to A, B, and D with the same triangle, it won't add up.
However, one of the sides of the triangle is the same, right?
Exactly.
Well, actually, whoever you are, David,
follow me.
Let's use a rectangle or a square to triangulate.
But on a map, you know how a map shows you, just real quick, and then I'll hang up. You know how on a map it'll say 1 inch equals 200 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on the bottom of every road map it says 1 inch, and you can drive exactly 1 inch or drive it, it'll be exactly 200 miles, right? Okay, on a sphere, those cities won't add up.
You're exactly right, David.
Exactly right.
That's actually a great point that you just brought up, David. Because what happens when you use Google Maps and you look at that key in the corner, if it was a sphere, that would be impossible for that to be the same size everywhere. The funny thing is, if you use Google Maps and you watch that key in the corner and you scroll around the Earth, that key changes sizes because it's a globe, and so it has to do that.
Oh, we're getting the super.
Kimo, are you following me on this yet?
Well, it's impressive because we're getting the super chats in, David. Another $5.
Oh my goodness, we are doing well.
Yeah, but I'm not going to read it.
Thank you very much.
Read it, Kimo. Whatever it says, I'll read it. Let's see what it says.
You read it.
All right. Well, it better not be
Is
fucking.
it some horrible shit about kosher again?
Hey man, fuck it. Why not? Let me see. Hold on, I gotta scroll. I gotta find it. All right, it says Brian Peck, $5 for Chemo to read. Oh, never mind. Chemo, I think you need to read it. It says for Chemo to read. It says you gotta read it.
You've got to read it, Chemo.
Not my channel.
Out loud.
Oh, I thought you were.
I know, but You have been reading them, and this person has specifically requested that you do it. So I think you should, Chemo.
I think go for it.
I'll send you the $5, of course.
There you go.
I am a fig
Dude, Kimo,
plucker. I
you remember the
pluck
ones I had to
figs.
read yesterday?
I'm the fastest fig plucker to ever pluck a fig.
Really? Is that what it says?
Something like that.
Say that again, Kimo? I couldn't
Oh,
hear you.
well. It was worth a $5.
Okay.
Thank you, Chemo.
Excellent.
I'll read it too, just to make the money's worth. It said, "I am a fig." Oh fuck! Hold on. It says, "I'm a fig plucker. I pluck fig." Oh yeah, that's why you gotta read it fast so you don't fuck it up. I'm a fig plucker. I pluck figs. I'm the fastest fig plucker to ever pluck a pig.
I'm a pig fucker, fastest pig fucker. Hey, so I'm a pig fucker. I fuck pigs. I'm the fastest pig fucker that's ever fucked pigs. That's not big.
Jesus Christ, Scott, you sick
wrong?
fuck.
Did I say it wrong? Well, the fact that you couldn't do that,
should read it again, though,
you
Kimo.
couldn't do that for a laugh, Kimo. Come on.
I just read it.
I know, but come on.
There's no curse words in it, Kimo.
Oh, goodness
Yeah,
me, the
you
super
should've
chats
just
are
beat that
flying
off
into this evening, flying in. You see, the reason why this is happening because we're effective in obviously what we do. We're straight to the point. We don't dance around the subject. We look for demonstrable evidence of a glow, which people are thirsty for information of that. So we have another super chat. Kosha, you want to... Jam, you should read out your super chats, really.
I know I should, I know, but I'm driving a train.
Oh, you're driving. Oh, okay.
At 160 kilometers an hour.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
An actual train? No,
no, not an actual train.
Okay, just want to make sure that we have a priority.
Like a train in a game.
God, okay. Well, that's important.
Oh, Jem's conducting as a conductor. Digital Demonic Davros, whoever that is, says for $2, $2 Australian dollars.
This is like
says Chemo Roscosmos, NASA infiltration spy. Shit, Chemo, is that true?
You know?
We'll say it is.
He's gone. He ran.
Are they called the Roscosmos?
What's the Roscosmos?
I'm assuming that's the Russian
Yeah,
astronauts.
in on it just as well.
That's the Russian Space Administration.
Yeah, the space agency.
The Rosicrucians?
It's like Rasa.
Hey, Chemo, Chemo, are you following me on this argument yet?
Yeah,
on a sphere, you can only triangulate 3 cities. If you add a 4th, it won't add up, right?
Okay, Dave, I asked you a question before. You didn't seem to answer it. How would you triangulate it on a flat map using a rectangular square?
Dave's not here, man.
No. What happened, Dave?
You're welcome for the fiber there, Jam. I was really hoping that the Chemo would just read without thinking.
But you have to make an alt.
Are you a plucking fig, Brian?
Oh, I thought there was
No, I'm
swear
plucking
words
figs.
in
Very
there.
different.
Bad word.
I didn't put a
Bad
single
word.
bad word in there,
It's not bad.
Chemo.
No,
At least
I know that, but it looks like you could say.
But that's how you make fig jam.
Yeah, Chemo, for the
How many
sake.
figs would a
Yeah. Go ahead.
How many figs would a fig plucker fuck if a fig plucker could pluck figs?
You would.
Chemo, what is wrong? What is wrong with
you know
saying?
that?
Chemo, what is wrong with that? Let's see, with that sentence. It says, "I am a fig plucker. I pluck figs. I'm the fastest fig plucker to ever pluck a fig." What's wrong with that?
Listen, I read it. I read it out. I read it.
Well, Chemo, for
You
the
just said
sake.
dirty.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say you said there was a dirty word in there. I just read it out to you. There's no dirty word in there.
I thought. That's why I read it.
Also, Super Chat would have stopped it being sent if it was rude.
For the sake of all the future
I don't think it would.
so we can promote future Super Chats, Chemo, I think you should read it clearly without any interruptions. Just read what he wrote clearly without any interruptions
it's
whatsoever.
not my channel.
I know, but we have at least Gem.
Wow, we're getting
I
another
think
super
we've
chat.
done that one to death. I think it was
Well, we've
ready
got
enough.
another one, Gem. I mean, I tell you, tonight is your night. We're doing well, exposing the globe. We're showing that the truth is on our side, and people are actually they're paying for this. So you've got another super chat, Kosher. Now you take it away.
Right,
Thanks for the intro, Chemo. That's
I'll
from
find
Rocket
it.
Scientist, Canadian.
All right, let me see if I can get through to Chemo. Chemo, if you go from one city to another, and one of them's 100 miles, the next one's 100 miles,
Hang on,
the next one's 100 miles,
David,
the next one's 100 miles.
David, hold on. Rocket Scientist says to Chemo, you bring everyone so much joy when you leave the room.
Oh, thank you very much there, Rocket. Thank you for the super chat.
Such man. Well, it is halfway.
Thank you very much for the super chat, Rocket.
As long as
Dave, I had a question to you. Did you not hear it before?
Don't ruin the
Dave?
bit. Dave's working on a stage act.
I know, but I figured he keeps on going away for 5 minutes when I ask him a question, so it might work. to keep him away.
Can you not hear that he's like lifting shit up with his truck? He's like working right now.
That's okay. He asks a question, then goes away. I think he was asking.
While he goes away, he's like, "Oh shit, it's ready to be fucking towed." And he's like picking it up and putting it in the truck. And while he's doing this whole skit,
Yeah.
And no, I can't hear anything. I got it turned down so low.
Get is the right word.
Just hope you're this happy when you realise that you're not on a ball.
Isn't that cute? Chemo's trying again.
I would be excited if I found that out. I would
Chemo.
I hope you are this happy when you realise there are no moon missions, no Mars missions, because that's the next step, really. You guys are waiting for confirmation of the globe with real-time, images or live streams from the moon, from Mars. We need to see, obviously, rockets going and coming back, returning, coming, going back, all that kind of stuff. So when this doesn't happen, again, I wonder what will
Kimbo, let me ask you a
take?
question, Kimbo. When you found out that the Earth was flat, as you think,
Whoever that is, your mic is kind of low.
whoever that is.
When you found out that the Earth was flat, as you think it is, did you were you excited, or were you thrilled, or were you upset?
No, it was traumatizing. What are you talking about?
But you get to find out that everything you thought was wrong, and now you get to learn everything new. Isn't that exciting?
Serious, finding out that your whole entire perspective of the world is a lie.
That wouldn't be exciting for the possibilities of what you're about to learn.
And there's nothing exciting from being lied to from a child, having an idea about the future and the possibilities, to find out it's all a lie. What's exciting about
I would be
that?
thrilled. I would be thrilled to find out that the Earth was flat. I think it would be very exciting.
But why would you be thrilled?
Because it would imply that I'm about to learn so much new stuff, that all this stuff I didn't know, I get to now learn.
Oh,
who knows all this?
I've got to interrupt you. I'm sorry. We've got another super chat. I tell you guys, whenever we address the truth,
less editorialization,
directly,
and more, reading.
Straight on, no messing around, no socializing, no derailing, no gatekeeping. They're looking for. They're hungry.
Right now.
Every time you do that, Chemo, you have to read it out. Don't do that and then ask.
Oh, it's not my channel. I'm just saying that the reason why this is happening is because we are direct.
Read it.
We don't mess around here. And of course, Rocket, it's fun when I leave.
Read
it. You get to socialize and pretend that that things are spinning.
You interrupted me in the super chat. Now you're just monologuing.
Sorry, yeah, go on then, Kosho. Go for it.
It says, and it's from C4. It says, just in case everyone forgot, Percentage is a low-life lying man-child who knows the Earth is not flat.
Oh, that's me.
Thank you very much for the super chat, C4.
You got me, C4.
Oh, carnage.
He got you.
Explosive. What do they call them? I don't forget. Shout out, tweet, super chat.
Chemo.
C4.
Chemo, you silly dog.
What?
Just don't you gonna do the whole heterolization or whatever. If you're gonna do the whole thing, then I'm not gonna read it afterwards. You said
right, yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah. But I'm just saying, there's a reason why this is happening. Because, like I say, people are hungry. They want to know the truth. They want to know if they're going to Mars. Oh, go ahead, Veach. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Kosho, you're the designated super chat reader.
No.
Cheerleader.
Veach, you're super low, if that's you still.
You are very quiet, Scott.
Wanted to keep it from overdriving. I'll see if I
Can't
can
hear a
Trade
word.
places with McCunnage.
Oh my goodness, here we go again. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Here's another super chat. They're hungry for the truth, like I've been telling you guys. Because they know something's wrong.
Stop editorializing.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to explain what's going on because
I don't want you to.
All right, there you go, Kosher.
Anamorphic Mind says, "Fuck off, chemo."
There you go. Thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, sorry, hashtag fuck off, chemo.
That's what we're talking about. So, like I say, it's people are feeling what we're saying.
All right, that's enough talking.
All right, go ahead there, Veach. Oh, he's gone now.
You chased him away, dick.
Bob, we've got to read the super chats. They pay for that, right?
Yeah, but it was your babbling that ran him away, not the fucking super chat. Which
We've got to pay the rent. We've got to pay the rent now.
Yeah.
Crazy man.
All right, Veach, we're waiting for you. Carry on. Oh, he was fixing his mic. He didn't go away. That's what he was. Remember, he was
Well,
low.
Kimo, let me ask you. A moment ago, you were lamenting growing up in church, complaining about being lied to from the time you were a small child. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No, because Veach was saying that it would be good news to learn that the Earth is not a globe or something like this, and I'm like, no, Veach, you're having that because obviously Veach, I think, already knows what time it is, you know, and he's ready to celebrate with everybody, you know, and say, hey, you know, it's great, it's flat, there's a dome, let's check it out. What's we're gonna have new discoveries, But for most people who are seriously into this stuff, like, can you imagine George, a Rumpus, just name a few. These guys are dedicated to the globe. Gem, for example, making the moon landing things, you know, hours of footage, spending hours making all that stuff each. You just prance around. Oh yeah, you know, this, we know that, you know, again, for me, I don't want to get me started, but this is the point. Most
Are you
people,
still talking?
Well, is his mic working? Is he back? No.
No, I just wondered if you were still talking because you're saying nothing.
Well, I'm just saying that his last point was it would be fun to know the Earth. How did I feel when I found out it was flat? And I said it was traumatizing because you've just realised.
In the
what happened
unknowing and not knowing of what the Earth is.
What happened then?
There's a big super chat now.
Oh my goodness, we're really flying high tonight.
We really are.
We really are flying. Jem is loving this, you know, guys. Really, you know, he's like,
I do love money. I really do love
this
money.
is what the channel was made for.
I like money.
Well, go ahead, Chemo.
And like I say, this is a fantastic platform because it is kind of like a television show program where we have the audience, they listen, they
Chemo,
watch.
there's a super chat, goddammit.
All right.
Yeah, let him give his preamble, and then you could take it away, Kosho.
No.
There's no preambles. Go ahead, Chemo. It's a super chat.
All right, for Chemo to read out loud. My favorite thing about Discord is socializing with my friends, and the Earth is roughly spherical. That's from Kit, $20. That's his opinion. Thank you, Kit.
Thank you very much, Kit.
Good money,
You're
Kit.
absolutely right, of course.
That's his opinion. That's good. It's a good addition.
Yeah, that's the shoot. So don't they'll probably use that as a soundbite or something. But
Hours are probably processing that as we speak.
Yes. But like I say, people are desperate for the truth because they've got to make a decision with their lives. They can see the crisis around them, and they want to know.
He doesn't even skip a beat. He goes right back to it.
The people right now want to know what path are they going to take, and they know.
I'm sick of hearing. I'm turning him down.
Well, okay, so Veach, we're waiting for Veach to come back with his point. Is he back? we're waiting for.
And we've got another one. It's for you, Chemo, again.
Wonderful. This is absolutely unbelievable. No, I'm not going to read any more now. But they're for you. It's your channel.
You've got to. They're paid for your services.
I promise, Kimo. I promise you, if anybody tries to record it and use it or something against you, I will personally.
No, but this is
and make sure that they don't exist.
No. Again,
exploitation.
Chemo, your mods depend on you. Your mods depend on you reading these out loud. You can't stay a mod.
No.
I'll make sure nobody records these.
Chemo, I think you need to argue for a cut.
No, it's fine. Again, but this is as long as we're able to raise awareness in the manner that we do. I think that's good. So look, this is your channel, Gem. Okay, and you're raking it in right now.
But the reason they're doing it is to get you to say these things, and if that's a good a revenue stream, then I think we should exploit it.
Yeah,
no, because again, if we get, I can't just read anything out, can I? That's
Your mod powers reside with this.
I won't make you read out anything that's against your religion.
I promise you that I will.
This is against my religion here.
No, it's not.
I'll track down any recording.
This is against God's word here. This is where we provide the claims, and God is obviously. So look, I'm not reading this out now. Sorry,
you've got to read it.
Your mods hang in the balance.
You've got to read it, Chemo.
Have my word, Chemo.
Come on, read it.
Down anybody who uses records this, uses anything.
Kosher, be quiet so I can read it. So, Chemo, please read. This is $5. My name is Chemo. This is $5 from C4. And he says, and in the last 5 years, I haven't said one thing that was correct, and I haven't provided any evidence for my claims. That was from C4 for $5. There we go.
Skillfully done, Chemo.
You see?
That was pretty good.
Crook. Sorry, C4, but he is profoundly dishonest. You know, what did you expect?
I read it out. What more do you want?
You deliberately interrupted by saying his name there. So the idea was it sounded like you were saying those words, and you made it sound like he was saying those words.
He's a clever person.
He is. He's not daft. He's not daft, is he?
No, he's clever.
Anyway, look, thank you for the super chats. Like I said, people.
Thank you very much for the super chat, C4.
You know, we take them any way we can, and like I say, people I have to remind you, they are searching for the truth, Moyek, something that you cannot deliver. Yeah, something Moyek cannot deliver. You have stories. People have had enough of stories. They want to be able to demonstrate, you know, obviously whatever they're claiming. Yeah, that's pretty much where people are at right now. So, is Veach back now so we can make his point? Oh, he's gone again. Got Mike.
How can you have a square mile on a round Earth?
Go for it, David. Ask.
From rocket scientist to Chemo, your birth certificate is an apology letter from the condom factory.
Super chat's coming in thick and fast.
Thank you very much for the super chat, Rocket.
It's worth the $5 if they hear that read out loud.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Like I say, you guys are satisfied with what we're our angle on things. That you need a demonstration, experiment.
Why is there a monologue after every?
Not really.
Yeah, because for me, you guys are waiting for one. You guys are waiting for the moon missions, Mars missions, and
no. See, we're not satisfied because there's this kind of double standards that you all don't present anything or very little, but yet you're asking the moon, so to speak, from the globe side.
Yeah, because if we go to the moon, we can see the Earth from the moon, right?
No, you missed the actual reference. You asked so entirely much from the globe side, and you offer so little in support of the flat Earth concept of either building a model.
Let's see if you can understand this. If you go out to your car and you get a map out, right, and it says that Houston or wherever you live is so many miles away, correct? At that point right there, you can get in your car and it'll be exactly how many miles you went, and every city on that map's exact. How come when you put a globe map on top of that map that's in square miles, that it won't calculate out. Can you please explain how you're putting your globe on a map that doesn't even work with your globe model? Please explain.
I'll take an educated guess that you're actually misunderstanding the scale that's utilized. For instance, the Mercator projection on flat maps is far different than what you actually apply on a globe.
I don't care what globe map you use. If you take out a map out of your glove box and you look at it, at the bottom of the page, you say 1 inch is 200 miles. You could go get in your car and go 200 miles. On a globe map, you cannot do that. You understand that? You cannot triangulate 4 different cities.
Let me explain this to you, David. It doesn't work that way. And that's why on an atlas, the one you pull out of the glove box is a short little range. But when you use Google Earth, you have the same observation, and you're looking at a general area of the Earth, and you have that key at the bottom that shows you the distance and the scale. It changes as you scroll around the map. So
if I pull out a map out of my glove box of the United States of America, 1 inch is 200 miles. That map will be whatever, 30 inches across or 20 inches across, or whatever it takes to get from one side of the United States to another. And you can get in your car and verify that 1 inch is at 200 miles. Huh?
Have you verified it? Because I contend that one box won't give you accurate results all over America.
Oh, well, of course it will. It's because the Earth is flat and you live in La La Land, thinking you live on a ball Earth, thinking that a whatever map is correct.
The legend has an error bar.
I'll be black.
Do we agree or not that that you cannot triangulate 4 cities on a globe Earth?
Yes, you can.
We do it every day, Steve or Dave.
I would make the argument that the more cities that you add, the higher precision your measurements.
100%.
How do you rectangulate 3 cities on a flat Earth, Dave?
You just, because it's all in square miles, you just draw a square on the map.
I said rectangulate, damn it.
How do you rectangulate 3 cities on a flat Earth? Okay.
With
3
two
cities,
triangles,
rectangulate,
triangles
motherfucker.
curved. That's how you do it. That's how you rectangulate. You do it with 2 triangles.
Let's hear about how you rectangulate on a sphere.
You take 4 cities.
You'd also have to have.
That's the whole point. It won't work.
You have to have indeterminate points.
You can't rectangulate 4 cities on a globe Earth map. Yes or no?
What does that mean?
What the hell does that even mean?
What does that mean to you? What do you think that means?
Earthwater understands to explain it to him.
But it comes down
Now,
to it.
Dave knows he's trolling something.